I'm just laughing in the back like.
That was the fakest laugh he's ever given.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
It's Wednesday, my dudes. Oh, is that was a Vine, wasn't it?
I think so. I don't remember.
You really are a funny guy.
What? What?
Oh, crap! I spilled coffee. Damn it!
You spilled coffee.
Mook drinking coffee this
on my
week.
mouse pad.
You mook. How do you
mouse pads?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah, they're really good.
You see, remember mouse pads? Is that what you just said?
A lot of meese. They don't need pads anymore.
Meese?
They just do it right on the table.
Meese?
Meese.
Like that. Meese. I like
That means
that.
multiple mice. Multiple.
Yes.
mice.
That's multiple mooses.
That's multiplicity with Michael Keaton.
Let's call it moosin.
Mukul Kotin?
Kiwanawanga.
Poutini! Oh my gosh.
God damn.
How rude.
How rude.
Salakadis.
Oh my god.
Fallout
4 is only $4.99 on Steam.
We're so okay with being friends. People already know what kind of mood we're in today.
Yo. What is up?
Yo ho. You're not hoes. I'm just kidding. How's it going, everybody?
Choose a hoe. Oh. We're
Hey-o.
gonna get copyright infringement right now.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's okay. They don't care enough about us to copyright strike us. We're fine. Bamboozled and koala. A lot of energy today. How's it going? We also got Sean. He says, "What up, crew? Hope everyone is doing well." We're doing well. My brain's kind of tired because I was doing a bunch of different drawing exercises today. So my brain.
That's why you were late. Got it.
No, I had to run another errand.
Yeah, I'll be right out. I'm just doing a lot of drawing exercises.
Yeah, I'm like, do you do those at the park?
Yes.
Like,
Do you go to a gym?
why is that guy staring at us?
I came from the gym. I definitely came from the gym today.
Nice.
You look pretty fit.
What'd you do today? Upper body, lower body? What'd you
Lower
do?
body, legs. Legs.
Nice.
Legs.
Legs.
I got a good
More
lower body
legs.
workout yesterday with basketball. I played a bunch of full court games yesterday.
Oh,
which
you're a
was
tall
fun.
guy. Basketball seems very fitting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaw.
I'm a tall white guy, so
Yeah.
makes sense.
Just rebounds and blocks. That's all I need. Don't shoot just, unless it's a 3.
Oh no! I'm the outside shooter. That's what I always was, and I still am.
Yeah.
That's my main thing.
Of course
shooting.
you were.
Yeah.
You got Axel. What's up? This is what up, pumpkins. I don't
Fucking
know.
Yao Ming over here.
Pumpkins, huh? That's
What?
interesting.
Yao.
He's like, okay, when I was growing up, he was like the tallest player next to Shaq. Okay.
Yeah, he was. He was.
It was
He doesn't
him
play anymore, though.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He
you got like
Dawson's head reaches the ceiling.
Who is the tallest basketball player these days?
I don't know. Wembenyama is pretty tall.
Okay.
Wembanyama. There's also Boban.
And Boba
Yeah.
Fett.
Boban is like what 7'2"?
You know what? You'd have to look it up, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
Big dude. And you also have Taco Fall, who's not in the NBA anymore.
Oh
but-
yeah, he's
Wait
not.
a minute. Oh, I was gonna say there's someone named.
I mean, he
Taco
wasn't that
Fall
good.
in
He was just
NBA.
super tall.
It's wild.
Yeah, super lanky and tall. He played for Baylor, didn't he?
Yeah, Baylor.
think-
He got drafted too, and then they were just like, yeah.
Yeah, he was the
Like,
Celtics, and then
nah.
he didn't do anything. And now I think he went over to China or some other overseas professional league.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, works out for him, I guess. But what is up, everybody? Got a bunch of topics. It's Wednesday, as Phil said. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Indubitably.
Has everybody caught up on X-Men '97?
Yes.
I
I
watched.
knew
Ryan,
I might
you
see it. I
failed.
I
knew
didn't
it.
watch today.
You failed,
So
man.
I worked.
That's fair.
And then you
That
had
is fair.
hours after work to
No.
catch up.
I watched it this
No.
morning before I went.
All
to
you gotta
work.
do is say,
I
"Babe,
worked
I'm
from
taking a
like
dump," and then you watch the
an hour.
episode. You watch it at work in the bathroom. They'll never
No,
know.
I can't do that.
I
Unfortunately.
watched it
They
this
monitor
morning
your
before I went to
phones?
work.
No, but I'm pressing shirts, so I don't have a way of like I mean, like I'm sitting in front of
Dude,
just
Ryan's boss
screen.
makes him share his location with him, so he knows where he's at all times.
I don't do that. I refuse.
Uses.
But yeah, no, it was definitely a request. I'll tell you that. Definitely,
It was definitely a request.
But
Was
I
nice.
denied that request.
Well,
Right.
since 3 of us saw it, we'll give our like non-spoiler thoughts on this
I
episode.
mean,
I
I can dip when you guys talk about it. That's cool. I mean, if y'all, I'm
All right,
gonna
well, we'll see you later.
no, no.
get out. No,
Oh, yeah,
because we have today we're talking about X-Men '97. We're talking
starting
about
off-
Fallout,
He's mad.
and then
Did you
we
watch
got,
Fallout?
Wow,
Did you watch any Fallout?
gaslighting me?
Did you watch any Fallout?
No, I didn't even play the video game.
I didn't play the game, and I watched the
I
whole
didn't play the
series.
game, and I watched it. And I watched the first episode.
I didn't. I was like, okay, there's some. I don't know. I saw a poster of a lady, and it said Fallout.
Oh, cool! I'm so glad
That was
that
it.
you were
I don't
interested in.
care. It was like it wasn't enough for me to be like,
At
what?
least he knows it exists.
Yeah,
I know.
True.
No, and
True.
a lot of
I
times he
know
doesn't
it
even
was-
know what
there's
exists.
that,
He's just like,
like,
"What are you talking about?"
This is
there
true.
was that blonde cartoon.
More often than not, you have
character.
to be his caretaker and informative of these things.
Yeah. If I don't tell him what's going on in the world, he's lost.
This is true.
I did hear about the Jonathan Kent thing, which I thought was awesome.
And there's a Martha Kent thing as well.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They're
did
both
see
in
that.
the rap.
I was not impressed with the Jonathan Kent cast.
Well,
Well, let's talk about that.
yeah.
sure, let's get into that
Yeah.
for sure. Let's.
'Cause that's the only thing I saw.
Okay, so they did announce that there was a casting for Pa Kent and
But
a
it wouldn't
casting.
be alive.
James Gunn didn't confirm it, but the actor did on his Instagram.
The actor did. So I was like, oh, there we go. He beat him to it.
He did beat him too. So we
Let
got.
me see if I can find it.
Like, it's such.
So
for
this is
me,
pretty
I
much
thought it
like
was
a
just
for
such an
sure thing,
odd
right? Like
casting.
this guy is going to be Pa Kent in Superman.
Yeah, I even saw James Gunn like talked about. Maybe he didn't. Maybe it was somebody else. But yeah, as far as I know, it's legit. Like that is going to be.
So
it.
for Jonathan Kent, they've cast Pruitt Taylor Vince as Jonathan Kent, and then for Martha Kent, they've casted
Catherine Zeta-Jones. Something weird.
So this is it.
Okay. So Martha looks fine, but the guy does not match what I would think Jonathan Kent would look like. I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know, man. Just seeing all the previous, like the Dukes of Hazzard guy, and of course Kevin Costner, and
Who's the Dukes of Hazzard guy?
the blonde. From
Oh,
Dukes
the
of
guy.
Hazzard.
I was right. Yeah. I was thinking of
Bo
I was
Duke?
thinking-
I don't know.
I was thinking of the one with Johnny Knoxville,
Have I seen
and
this
I was
guy
like,
in
"What?"
anything?
Yes, usually he plays like sniveling characters.
So he played one of the villains in the movie. What's it called? With John Cusack, where they were in a hotel, and then you find out that they're all different personalities.
187 or
within a serial killer's head, and he played the serial killer.
Oh, I know
He
you're
was
talking about, but I
also-
don't know the name of the movie either.
He was in the movie Monster. He played a small role in that, where he picked up the main. He picked up Charlize Theron, and she was going to kill him. And then anyway, so he's played in a lot of different movies, but he was good in Constantine. Yeah, he was in Constantine as well.
Oh wow, he was.
Um,
Yeah. Wow.
The one thing that he tends to do that I've noticed from his different movies is that he kind of has that very emotional, kind of intimate portrayal.
Oh, you
of
know what?
emotion, where you almost feel like he's a very warm and
He's in Natural Born Killers too.
he's in Natural Born Killers. Yes, he is.
Wow.
Mhm. I've kind of gone back and forth with this. Like I've never really seen him much except for like in Constantine a little, like, and I watched that a long time ago. But looking at him, like thinking of farmers in Kansas, I mean, he could easily be a farmer in Kansas with the look of him. I mean, you could either go like the Kevin Costner route or this route. Like
I don't know. He doesn't look
I
like
would-
a farmer that gets out in the on the pasture that much. Doesn't
Could be
he?
a
He
little
was
more.
warm.
Not when
West
he's
Latin.
dressed with a.
He's just.
Not when he has a bow tie and a hat on, like in the picture we're looking at.
I
but-
mean, I'm just saying he's a little looking diabetic to me.
well, look at the
for a
picture
farmer.
from the comic. He looks
Yeah.
That's-
pretty hefty there too.
Isn't that All Star?
It's All-Star, yeah.
Yeah.
That's both from All Star.
That's
They're
good.
both from. Oh, actually, that's not All Star. I don't know.
That's
what that one is.
that's
that's-
Superman Secret Origins.
Yeah, Gary Frank
There we
did the
go.
art. right?
Yep.
Yep.
But this is definitely a different take. I mean, he's going with actors that are not as well known as Kevin Costner and Diane Lane. I
And
mean, I thought
fine.
they were perfect as his parents. But I mean, it's fine. I mean, as long as they're portrayed, well, I think it'll be fine. But definitely surprising that he would go with, this woman. I've never seen her before in my life. And then this guy, which I didn't expect, but I actually think he's a good actor. But it was interesting to see that this was his selection for Martha and Paul Kent.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like, okay, like might as well be. I mean, they don't look like they're super contrast to the part. Like they look like they could be people in Kansas. I mean, I've lived in that part of the country and looking at both of them, like they could be an older farmer.
I've seen the lady
there,
before. So she's done a
I
lot
don't
of other
recognize
small
anything.
roles, but and I don't know, man. I
can
think
look it up.
I don't know. Just not impressed with the Pa Kent
Yeah.
so far. Just like he's always played like a weasel character from what I've seen.
So it just feels out of place for you.
The recent thing,
just a little bit.
I think, he was in The Walking Dead as another like side character. He was only in a couple episodes.
I think he was. So here's the IMDb, and I can share that. So there he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in a lot of different things. He was in Constantine, Identity. That's the name of the movie.
Yes.
Mississippi Burning. These are what he's known for. Okay. But he's been in, a bunch of Bird Box. He was in that.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Stranger Things. I know Ryan's a big fan of Stranger Things. He collects all the T-shirts.
Yeah, I make drawings of it, even though I've never seen it.
Heroes. Yeah, one of those guys.
One of those guys. Scroll down a little bit.
Those guys. True Blood, Homefront. So he's been in a lot of different things, a lot of TV shows, a lot of series. He was in the Blacklist for a couple episodes.
He was, yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, the guy has a long
reputation
list of well, he's been in a lot of projects. So, but everything I've seen him in, I always feel that whatever character he plays it really well. So I think he'll do fine as Pa Kent. I don't think he'll blow anyone away, but I think he'll do just fine. Now, when we look at who the mother is, there is Pa Kent.
A real quick question for you guys, though, in regards to Pa Kent. We've seen in Superman 78 and Man of Steel, Pa Kent die in one way or another. Do you think that there's a chance that in this version of the DCU, we'll see the version from the comics where both Ma and Pa Kent are alive and well when he's an adult?
I think so. I think this is another isn't like the Man of Steel, or not Man of Steel, the Superman shield that they're using.
You just can't stop thinking about Man of Steel.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good movie. But I think that they're going to try to say, okay, this is yet another way or another, way for the audience to know or understand or realize that this is a completely different Superman, even though, Corn Sweat does look like, a young version of Henry. It's not a prequel to that universe or anything like that. This is a different, Pa Kent, Ma Kent kind of thing. And they're alive and well and doing fine. And maybe their lives get threatened at some point, but not by a heart attack or hurricane or a tornado.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that James is going to want to do something different and make it to where, because if you do the death of Pa Kent, you have the whole heart attack and Superman can't do anything to stop it. And then you have the tornado and Man of Steel. So there's already two different versions that they've gone. And so it'll inevitably be compared to those two.
This one will be quicksand.
Yeah. So if you want to avoid that, you just have them stay alive, like in some versions of the comics, especially.
Yes.
I think in All-Star Superman, they are both alive. And also Superman for All Seasons, where Superman for All Seasons, they're both alive as well. So
he's probably just going to be there to provide, guidance or whatever,
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they, end up becoming kind of like a comic relief, because think about it. Now you're going to have both of them alive. So you can't constantly turn to them for advice on how to take on the world. They may become, I'm hoping this is not the case, but they may become more like the parents from Transformers, where they're just kind of like,
oh God, I'd hate that.
Like bumbling idiots, get out of the way.
That was the worst in the sequel to the Transformers, Fallen. and they were at the college campus, and that was just the most
yeah,
ridiculous, stupid scene. And I got so tired of the mom because they were like, "Yeah, no, be over the top," and I was like, "Oh, come on, no."
Yeah. So I imagine that they'll just have it to where like it's just fun family banter. Hopefully they play that middle ground well. That it's just simply familiarity and that it's just good chemistry and not over the top like that.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything to really add. I'm not one way or the other about either casting. I'm not excited, nor do I really like hate either one. I don't know. I'm just kind of ambivalent to the whole thing at this point. Like, just want to see like show me a trailer for the movie. Show me something from the movie that'll actually like make me feel one way or the other. At this point, this is just casting news. You know,
there's nothing exciting that they've announced or dropped or anything. Nothing.
There are only three pieces of casting that I'm actually genuinely excited for. Rachel Brosnahan, dude playing Perry White, I forget his name. Wendell Pierce. There we go, because he's a fantastic actor. And then Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific. Those are literally the only three components of this movie that I genuinely kind of give a shit about. Other than that, I don't really care much for the guy playing Superman. I've seen him in the handful of things, and I just think he's just like, Christopher Reeve light. And on top of that, I think his ears just look way too big, and it's just going to be superbly noticeable. I know it's a stupid little thing to get nitpicky.
He's going to wear earmuffs.
Maybe, I don't know, but his ears just look like fucking Dumbo ears. I don't know.
Like pin him back.
No, he's gonna wear the '90s Captain America headgear with the fake ears on it.
I don't know, but like, then you got your typical young kid playing Jimmy Olsen. I'm like, oh, that's neat. The character hasn't been relevant for Superman in almost fucking 25 years. So,
but according to the fans, he's relevant. He's a huge part of
Andre,
the lore.
He's integral to Superman.
You know what I mean? It's like,
guys, I'm about to drop a really hot take. I don't give a fuck about a lot of Superman fans because a lot of them are entitled, nitpicky, whiny ass fucking fanboys, and they all bitch and moan no matter what version of Superman it is. They bitched and moaned with Superman Returns. They bitched and moaned with Man of Steel. They bitched and cried when it came to Batman v Superman. And when it came to Zack Snyder's Justice League, they were like, oh, this is what he was doing. Oh, this would have been cool. Yeah, too little, too late, fuckhead. Too little, too late. And now we're getting a new Superman movie, and we've got, G. Gall Williker Superman, fucking Jimmy Olsen. It's like, all right, whatever. Literally, I kind of feel like James Gunn's just ticking off boxes for fucking Superman fans of like, here's what they want. Next thing we know, we're probably going to see him in red trunks, and I'm going to be like, all right, fucking whatever, we're doing red trunks again.
I
cool
feel
beans,
like he's
man.
Gonna do the red trunks.
I feel like he's going to do red trunks.
I don't think he's gonna. I think what he'll do is he'll have red in sort of his midsection, but I don't think it'll be trunks. I think it'll just be like
that's optimistic.
Like some design or something.
That is optimistic at best, because I firmly think he's going to fucking do red trunks.
If he has red trunks, I hope they have pockets.
No, I think it's just gonna be part of his suit. Like the trunk area is all.
You know what? There is one other actress I'm actually kind of curious about. Isabella Mercedes Hot Girl. I'm very curious to see how like they make her look in the movie.
Well, not only that, but
that's more curiosity than excitement.
Like
though.
The addition of Hot Girl in general, just having her but not Hawkman. It's kind of like.
Hawkman we already had him, and I liked him. I thought he was cool.
That's not canon.
It is.
Who gives a fuck about 78 characters in a modern context? I'll tell you, not this guy. No offense, Axel. That's just I saw your comment and I was like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like this is a new Superman movie. Maybe we could get like a fucking Brainiac, a Parasite. Nope, we're doing Tessmacher and Otis again. Fucking yeehaw, yippity ki-yay, motherfucker! It's abundantly clear to me that James Gunn has like a admirable love for that 78 movie, and I'm just like.
Well, I mean, so
good for you, my guy. Good for you.
78 is definitely up there for me because I grew up on it, right? I didn't get anything new until Superman Returns, basically, and they foobarred that. But I mean, I'm not, and I'm not excited for this thing so far. Like I said, I've seen nothing that gets me excited. I don't care about any of the casting. I don't care about anything so far. It's just like, oh, it's there. And it's just sort of like it's just there.
It's just there. It's like we're making a new Superman movie. It's like, okay, that's cool. Here's the thing. A lot of fans who actually liked what was going on with the DCEU when Zack Snyder was still involved feel completely scorned and burnt by everything WB has done. So when they present to us a brand new Superman movie with none of those cast people coming back, it's like, why should we care? Because if this thing fucking flops, What then? What are you going to do then? Because as a business, what are you going to be forced to do? You're going to be like, well, shit, this didn't work. We may as well try and move forward with what little bit we have. Maybe the audience will catch on at some point. Well, guess what? That's exactly what fucking happened last time. And you know what you did? You eventually found someone else to fucking reboot the thing in 10 years.
Yep. No, I agree. And you know, when you say your hot take of, you know, nothing that this is really exciting or anything like, or then Superman fans just kind of very entitled, I absolutely second that. Like I've mentioned before how I had interacted with some like Superman fan groups on social media, and it's some of the most toxic environments that I've ever seen. And I've seen Star Wars fandoms, I've seen all sorts of different things, but Superman fandom specifically, man,
you even went to the museum,
dude. If you ask me which fandoms have the most toxic fan base, Star Wars, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman.
I put Superman fans above all of them.
It's debatable. Because there are Star Wars fans who are just absolutely
Star Wars is pretty rough.
Yeah, Star Wars is more rough than
Star Wars fans are pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah,
they are. And right now, it's even worse too because of the whole sequel trilogy and everything that's been going on.
Look at the Acolyte, dude. Look at how much fucking bullshit that trailer, just the trailer for it has gotten. Right?
Right.
Like it's just
people were like, "Did they film that at Galaxy's Edge?"
Yeah, I know.
I think the ones that like stand at the gate the most are absolutely Superman fans. Because they absolutely need they need Superman to smile. They need him to have the red trunks. They need him to fucking save cats out of trees. And they need this last one. They need the quote, truth, justice, and American way fucking said or plastered on a poster somewhere in order for that Superman to fucking mean something. And it's sad because that is a very outdated adage for that character.
And on a similar note, Hunter Iggy, as Andre also said, I agree with what Zach said about fans being brainwashed in that sense.
100%.
Yeah. He's absolutely right.
Taking that out of context too, just to say Zack Snyder's an asshole, and it's not true because, well, I know he's not.
What he said was very, very accurate. I thought it was absolutely true, and so I'll just add my 2 cents to that. But no, I'm with you guys where nothing of the casting or anything of this movie has gotten me like all that so stoked, if I can even freaking speak. It's gotten all me that stoked.
Wait a minute, you're not excited to see Lex Luthor in a Superman film for the 6th time?
Yay.
Well, and it sounds like he's the main villain too, so it's kind of like, oh, we're just gonna go Superman versus Lex, and like I kind of get like, okay, you want to establish that it's kind of like establishing Batman and the Joker, but
will he have his iguana?
I just wanted to have somebody else be the main villain, and maybe there is still somebody else that's going to be revealed.
Maybe there is a secondary, right? Like maybe there is like
it would be nice.
Bizarro clone, or there's some
what was that talk that supposed rumor about? It wasn't Bizarro, it was somebody else.
Ultraman.
Like how in the fuck
that
does
doesn't make
sense?
Any sense? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Like, are you gonna pull him from another universe? Like, or you're just gonna make it
we've created a portal somehow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, though,
because Ultraman is part of the
between
crime
him and
syndicate.
Palpatine.
Here's the thing.
If I'm not mistaken.
If Lex Luthor is the main villain, and he makes some kind of clone, be it Bizarro, Ultraman, whatever, it's like, oh, cool. We've now seen this 3 times because we saw it with Nuclear Man. In a sense, we saw it with like BVS and Doomsday, even though that's not quite the same thing, but it's in that same ballpark of experimenting on Kryptonian, creating another evil version, right? No, right. It's far removed, but it's in that same ballpark. But this, if this actually does end up being the case, if Nicholas Holt's version of fucking Lex Luthor creates like an evil clone or something, it's going to be like, oh, cool. I've seen this before in 2 other movies.
Yeah.
One did it better than the other, and maybe he'll be in the power suit. I don't know. I think that would be kind of cool. That would be very different.
Well, that would definitely be cool and
it'd
different.
be fucking dope.
And that's what I was hoping that they would do with, Zod's, suit from the, Man of Steel. They just retrofit it and use that. But we didn't get that. But I hope if they do the clone thing, right? I hope that they don't realize it. I hope that it's just sort of like, okay, they're fucking with like, the DNA of Kryptonians, but that's it. They you see that they're doing research, leave it for later.
Yeah.
Lobo's gonna be the villain.
yeah. And it's gonna be Momoa.
It's gonna be Momoa.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know how I feel that whole idea, if that was real, which I don't think it is, but if that was real, that they're gonna do a clone and call him Ultraman. Yeah. That is the biggest. That's just idiotic.
Let's
because for one,
that's
if I'm not wrong,
right?
Ultraman is part of the crime syndicate, and that's in a different Earth.
It'll-
So,
it'll be
are you
different.
going to
It'll be
create a clone? Are you going to create a clone of Superman and just be like, he is my Ultraman, and you're just like,
Yes.
oh, that's a nod to the
I think that
character?
they would do
That's
that. Yes.
stupid. Like,
Yes.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing.
we
See, my
established
question
a
for that.
multiverse.
You're on the right
My question
track.
with that is that how would fans be willing to accept that if it's
What's
come from
up,
someone like
Jason?
James Gunn? What's up,
What's up,
Jason?
Jason?
Like if James
Well, that's
Gunn does
just it,
that,
Dawson.
how would fans react?
That's just it. As far as a lot of these nerds are concerned, James Gunn walks on fucking water. He can do no wrong. Look at how well received, and I use that quote loosely, the Suicide Squad was. People were like, "Oh, this is so much better than that first film. It's so great." Blah 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 blah. And look at how much they put the fucking Guardians films on a pedestal, right? Like, as far as general nerds are concerned, more specifically like comic book nerds, James Gunn can do no fucking wrong because he reads comics like the rest of us.
Well, I think that there's two ends of the spectrum. You have fans that are really supportive of whatever James Gunn does, and you have fans that are hate his guts. There's not a lot in between. You know what I mean? And I think at first there was more fans that were in between, and now it's just separated itself into you either hate him or love him or hate him. And the same thing it was Zack Snyder. I mean, people either hate him or they love his work. So I mean, I think at this point it's kind of par for the course. But yeah, no, it's just crazy, and that's why like look, when it comes to what is going to go down in Superman, or not even Superman Legacy, it's just Superman.
Yeah.
I still have to wait and see more for me to really bag on this movie, because I mean you can cast whoever, but if they perform the role really well and the story's good, then I'm gonna like it. But if not,
100%.
then I'm gonna if the movie sucks, then I'm gonna rip into it.
This is pretty funny. James Gunn is perfect. He has a Christopher Reeve Superman toy.
Fucking sure, right? Like, and look, I don't have anything personal against the guy. He made, fucking Slither. He made. I love the Scooby Doo movies. Weirdly enough, like of the stuff he's worked on, I like the Scooby Doo movies. I think he did an excellent job with those. When it comes to like his comic book stuff,
I don't agree.
Fans defend that's good for you, dude. Like, more power to you. Anyway.
I don't agree. But
well, the Superman movie that he made with his brother, I think, with the little kid.
He produced that. He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't make it. It wasn't. He just helped out.
Right. So, like, here's my thing: is that James Gunn's made solid movies. Like, even with the Suicide Squad, I'm not a big fan of it, but like,
and look, don't get me wrong,
quality aspects to the filmmaking. But like,
the first Guardians film, everyone thought it was going to flop, right? But it has its moments for sure.
Yeah.
Like, looking back at it now, I'm like, that's where the MC, and this is going into a whole different fucking conversation. But I'm just bringing it up, like,
we're doubling down on this.
The Guardians of the Galaxy movie is, in my opinion, where Marvel started like looking. Oh, we need to make everything funny and goofy.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
they did. However, I thought that Guardians Part 1 was good. I love Part 1. And
it had a balance, though, right?
Like, it was good where it was at. I was like, perfect. I really, really enjoyed it.
It was refreshing.
But then Part 2 was like, let's make it a little more silly. And then Part 3 was like, okay, let's make this more emotional. Part 3 wasn't bad, but it just, I don't know.
I think he's got a wide range. I think he's got a wide range as a writer. But I also think he cannot help himself when it comes to the humor, because him and Taika Waititi, to some even more extent, think they are a hell of a lot funnier than they actually are.
Agreed.
Because they definitely throw jokes in that last way too fucking long, and they think they're really fucking funny, and they're just not. And even like looking at the Suicide Squad film, like, look at all the dick and fart bullshit humor that is in that movie. And fans ate it the fuck up.
Well, it's just like that one scene from like Bridesmaids with Melissa McCarthy when she was like, just talking to her husband on the plane, and they were just trying to beat a joke in, and it just never, it wasn't funny. It was just really awkward and weird. And I was like, can we move on? It just stuff like that. And he didn't direct it. I'm just using that as an example.
I was gonna say James Gunn wasn't involved with that though.
Just it was, but it's just an example of
like, but he saw the movie.
He saw it, and
and he gave it 2 thumbs up.
He gave it, yeah, exactly. He's like,
remember that 2 thumbs up, yeah, Siskel and Ebert. No, and that's the thing too. Like, I hear what Austin's saying. He's saying that Snyder fans look for anything to piss on Gunn's upcoming slate. And
there's a faction of them that will. Snyder fans in general, no, but
go watch Sil Abdul's fucking channel. There's full of them all over there. 100%
going on.
That dude actually made a Threads account, and I warned everybody to block and mute that son of a bitch, because that fool just.
I'm here to tell you right now, We don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
We don't say that name around.
Oh, we don't.
No,
say
hey,
that.
I was just prime example of the evil of like the toxic Snyder fans. Go watch his channel. They're all in those comment sections.
And this is our response to that group and that.
No one cares. No one cares. Do you care? No. Do you care? You guys got any Benadryl? See? No one cares.
I'm the guy asking for Benadryl in that.
No,
situation.
I'm the guy asking for Benadryl.
and I'm not trying to shit on what you were saying. I'm just.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah. I mean, look, there are certain groups out there that will literally use any crumb of information that pertains to Zack Snyder or pertains to the Snyderverse as a way of saying it's back. Here it is. I told you this was never going to go away. It's coming back somehow, some way. To say, Zach's kept the conversation going in the background. Like, you shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry, but we're 10 years later on, these actors are getting too fucking old. It's done, dude. Put a fork in it. Everybody's moved on. Everybody's doing their own thing. Like it's cool to like those movies and talk about those movies and talk about what could have been like Andre. He loves to talk about the, the shit that could have happened or whatever. We did Project Justice League about the shit that could have happened. But it's like that was kind of therapeutic for us because we're like, okay, we got to make it and see it and like give a closure of some sorts, to something that we liked.
People were like, you should have had more visuals. Like, that's the biggest complaint I get. You should have had more visuals. Like, cool. You want to work on those?
Yeah, no, it's like I'm sorry.
Like you guys didn't just spend like close to a full fucking year making that thing.
Yeah, we took
and,
an entire
and
year
no
of our lives.
payment.
Yeah,
we did it on our own times. And
all the money it earned went to AFSP.
Yes.
So like, we didn't do anything. So.
And then there's this the thing with Ray Porter.
That's the other.
I'm
side
not on
of it
Twitter,
too,
so this is news to me. Who the fuck is attacking Ray Porter?
So Ray Porter had
go ahead.
tweeted "Sell the Snyderverse to Netflix" hashtag, and so he ended up getting a lot of people basically saying basically shut up and die. Basically, not like that specific wording, but like basically saying that. So there's a bunch of people who just don't care for the Snyderverse saying
and a quick plug. Ray Porter is also in Project Justice League as Darkseid. Thank you.
There you go. And so here is that tweet right here. I'll just bring this up.
Yeah. I'm curious myself to see what the fuck this is. I'm glad I'm not.
So it says Ray Porter, the actor who portrayed Darkseid in Zack Snyder's Justice League, has recently been receiving death threats from toxic fans of James Gunn. I mean, look,
fans of James Gunn.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm joking.
So already the person who's writing this is already, sort of putting a narrative to it already. These
Reasons I'm Broke does that a lot. I mean, I've never had any bad interactions with them, but they definitely do take
these threats result from Porter's vocal support, even though it's a hashtag that he tweeted, for restoring the Snyderverse. Shockingly, one individual openly threatened Porter's life simply because he posted in favor of the sell hashtag. This kind of behavior highlights a toxic underbelly of specific fan communities. Sure. Furthermore, there has been despicable attempts to tarnish Zack Snyder's reputation. Okay, anyway. So in this picture right here, you can see it right there. He says, gonna look up Ray Porter, need him dead.
Good Lord. Wow.
Yeah, it's messed
and
up.
So, like, I read that and I go, okay, like, the fuck are you doing, buddy? Like, calm the fuck down. But then at the same time, I'm kind of like, look, if I'm Ray Porter, if I'm anybody, if I see that, I'm like, you're an idiot. You're just some dude on a computer or on a phone saying, "Oh, I'm dead." It's like, that's why when it comes to what people say on X, it's just trash. And so I don't take any of this shit seriously. And frankly, I hope he doesn't either. But at the end of the day,
great guy.
Should people make comments like that about others? Of course not. But they're going to.
Not.
I mean, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. You're going to get shitheads who are going to make dumbass comments like that. But I almost feel that when you highlight those comments and you blow up the fact that, oh my God, this guy said that, can you believe that? It almost highlights the worst parts of individuals, groups, fans, all of that.
Because
you got those people that are gonna want to like high five, like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, I know. We should do that too. I'm gonna outdo you so I can get my name or my handle in a hashtag or headline or whatever. It's just stupid.
And also, like, what's unfortunate is like you know, a lot of people, like, for instance, this talks about like, oh, fans of James Gunn are doing this. And it's like, well, first off, like, I know plenty of fans of James Gunn who are reasonable people, much like any group, any fandom out there. There's groups of people that are like reasonable, fun to talk to, nice people. There are some that are extreme and ridiculous, and there are some that are very passive. Like, you can't just say this group of fans or this fan base in general is doing this. Kind of like what people do with the Snyder fan base. They'll say, oh, the Snyder fan base does X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you can't say that generalized statement. You have to specify, like, dude, there's fractions of a fandom that do this.
100%.
It's a minority group. You can't just say, oh, this entire group, whether it be James Gunn fans or Snyder fans.
And I would think, much like Zack Snyder, James Gunn probably wouldn't condone any of that not toxic bullshit either. That's just fucking asinine, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, like, look, the situation is what it is. James Gunn's running DC. I don't think any of us are like over the moon about it, but we're not sitting here calling for the man's head, right? Like, that's nonsense. That's fucking bullshit. But still, like, for one of his alleged fans to do this to Ray Porter, fuck that. It's fucking nonsense.
But to even say, oh, it's a James Gunn fan, what is a James
That's
Gunn
true.
fan?
Like, what? Not only that, but how
What
do you know for fact
constitutes-
that? How do you know for fact that this was in fact a James Gunn fan, specifically like a James Gunn DC fan that said this, right?
What I would imagine is somebody went to his account and said, okay, he's retweeting James Gunn stuff. He likes James Gunn. He's a James Gunn fan. It's kind of like, look, at the end of the day, an idiot did a stupid tweet. And now we're supposed to, you know, like, I'm not going to lose my shit and be like, oh my God. It's like, dude, this is how people are on X. They just let it rip. And it's sad, but that's how it is. And you know, I know, you know, from talking with Ray, he's a very sensitive guy, and I'm hoping that he doesn't take any of this shit to heart. Because what people say on X is, I don't take anyone says on social media.
I'm not trying to humble brag, but after having coffee with the man, I can assure you he doesn't really give too much of a fuck about all that toxic bullshit on the internet.
Yeah, because he knows, like Andre just said,
it's on both sides.
100%. It is.
Absolutely.
Droger writes, Gun fans are awful from what I've seen, and I think Red Robin fans are awful as well. I mean, I've ran into a few of those guys. They're relentless.
People who clown on the Batman are not friends of mine, that's for sure.
Exactly.
What is this? Drop a super chat and fund my late night dinner run.
Jesus
That's
Christ,
it.
What kind
Andre.
of dinner
That's
run
it.
is?
If you drop a super chat, it's going straight to my meal tonight.
Shame on you! Ugly baby judges you!
My wife's out of town, so it's going to be a rough night. So anyway,
you need some coinage. Get for
coinage.
Get some.
That's
din.
it.
Okay, I got you.
So Kevin O'Dog here writes, I love the Snyderverse and I don't want to let it go, but the Cell idea is an improbable long shot, but let them rock out if they want to keep hope alive. They can do whatever they want.
I understand that perspective, okay? 100%, but they're going about it in the most shite way possible because they're feeding on fans' hopes and promising false promises of, this shit is going to happen. Are we really going to try and forget of the whole, Ayer cut incoming 2022?
Yeah.
Come on. Like, what the fuck?
It came and went like that. Bam. Gone. But here's the thing is that, look, the people that are behind it, they're doing their thing. That's fine. Right. But some of the actions of the individuals are involved with that. I don't agree with, and that's why I don't really support it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go and write a cardboard sign and stand outside, you know, and kind of hold it up and take a quick photo in a Superman outfit, you do you, boo.
Yeah,
you know, post that shit all over social media.
But here's the thing: when you look back at like the restore the Snyderverse, you know, hashtag, right? When Sean Mayer created that hashtag, he didn't follow that up with, okay, guys, rules of engagement. You know, what you can and cannot tweet on these hashtag days. What we're going to be doing, it's just kind of like, what the fuck? What are we talking about? We're talking about a hashtag to raise awareness for the release of the Snyder Cut back then, right? And then the hashtag became, a hashtag that was also a way of supporting AFSP, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly is this hashtag, the Cell hashtag, supporting, other than to keep the idea alive that, we want more Snyderverse. Granted, all of us do. But at the end of the day, it really, the only thing that it's done in terms of like supporting anything is supporting the content creators that are supremely backing it and claiming it as their own.
Right.
And that's the problem I have, is that there's a lot of self-indulgent content creators that are supporting this as if it was their idea, it was their flag. Listen to me, don't listen to anyone else. And so with that kind of sentiment, I'm like, you know what? Nah, no thanks.
Can't get behind that.
Yeah.
I can't get behind that.
Can't get behind that. Just
you can't go from being
absolutely
somebody who calls people fat, who calls people names, to threatening both Ryan and I. And then all of a sudden take all those tweets down, take all those streams down where you said a bunch of horrible things and be like, we just want peace. We want to be positive. It's like, well, we know that you're not. You've already played your hand.
Yeah.
So don't pretend to be somebody else that you're not. Just do your thing. Yeah. It's just kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of, it's a mixed bag. And I just, look, if they want to support the hashtag, go right ahead, do it, man. Like, support it, do what you got to do. But don't do it at the expense of, shitting on other people. That doesn't do anything. Yeah. Even like Sammy, the Snyder Queen, one of the most positive members of that group got, exiled.
Yeah,
because
like that
one of the last things I saw on Twitter was like her getting shoved out of that, and I was like, and that's gross.
My understanding after talking with her, the main reason why was because she felt that she wanted to use the restore hashtag with it, because it meant the same thing. It was still a part of restoring it, and there's still fans that are connected to it. Their idea was that everything that the restore has done has been negative and has been very aggressive and toxic. We don't want to be any part of that. It's like, well, you've already established that you are toxic and aggressive and weird and homophobic and all kinds of shit. So whatever.
100%.
But like I said, if you want to support it, go ahead, support it. It's just,
also, this thing right here that Kevin O'Dog here says,
that's just not my cup of tea.
It's ridiculous that they tell their fans that they can't fight to restore the Snyderverse in comic book form or animation form, live action or nothing. Okay, this is the last thing I'll say about this one specifically. Is like, look, beggars can't be choosers. If you're begging for something to be restored, and like Ryan said, these actors are like 10 years past the time that they had filmed the last Justice League movie.
Right.
You're either going to get it in comic book or animated form, or you're not going to get it at all. And like, I'd love to see, but like, if it's just going to be a comic book and an animated movie, fine by me. I'd watch it. I'd read it. I'd buy it. I don't care.
I think that
I just thought of something that's superbly equatable.
What's that?
Michael Keaton fans. To this day, they never shut up about wanting to see Michael Keaton come back. Then they got him back in the Flash film, and now they're still clamoring for him to come back in like a Batman Beyond movie. But it's like, you have the Batman 89 comic. You have Batman 89 Echoes. You're about to get a fucking novel, Batman Resurrection, that takes place in between Batman 89 and Batman Returns. But it's not good enough. No, I want Michael Keaton back in the fucking Batsuit.
You're gonna get
Michael Keaton's fucking 72.
I'm sorry, but in the Flash, he seemed, I mean, it was obvious that he was much older than the last time we saw him.
Yes.
But I'm not shitting on Kevin's post right here, but to me, this says a lot about that whole campaign. He says, I immediately understand the sell crowd because I love the Snyderverse and I can't let it go either. That's everything you need to know right there. It's like, you basically defined what that is. They don't want to let it go. And I get it. I get it.
Reclamation or shadow put at this point. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, again, at this point, beggars can be choosers. And I hate whenever I see, and I don't even like interact with this group just because like I'm just so past it. But I see people like post the quote from Watchmen saying never compromise, even in the face of Armageddon. And it's like, guys, this is entertainment. Like, it's not that serious. Like, yes, would I love to see these live action movies realized? Sure, I've said that tons and tons of times. But if all you possibly could get is a comic book or an animated movie, take it. Don't complain. Don't bitch and moan just because it's not exactly what you want. You don't get what you always want. Trust me, I'm a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I'm never going to see the trilogy.
What you want.
Right. I'm never going to see the Amazing
Spider-Man trilogy. Try sometime.
Can I freaking speak?
You fine.
Holy crap.
I mean, you're at the very least, though, you got Spider-Man No Way Home. You got some little bit of closure.
Like you get some closure, or you get some small things.
Oh
Even
my
if
God.
you don't, like, just be okay with it.
Spider-Man No Way Home, to be honest, like, I so badly wanted there to be a scene where it shows Tobey Maguire like going back home, and Kirsten Dunst and the kid were there, and I so badly wanted to see a scene where you see Andrew Garfield getting on his bike to head out to wherever, and then that's when he runs into Mary Jane, and then that scene that they filmed for Spider-Man 2, they repurposed it at the end of No Way Home. As a way of saying
that'd be cool.
Now he found his love, and then that kind of wraps up. You know, that kind of helps, kind of end that, not entirely, but it would have gave him a happier ending. You know, I thought they were gonna do it. I was like, dude, I think this is gonna happen. It didn't happen. Damn it.
I feel like we might get maybe a bit more from those two in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't know. It'd be nice.
Yeah,
but
you might because
I don't know.
Really
I don't know.
Tried
You'll see
with,
something like the Gambino
Donald
guy.
Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had him in there for a reason, and I almost feel like that was a way of saying, like, well, let's test the waters with that and see how it translates.
Right.
And then maybe we do something, later on.
They even showed stock footage of Toby and Andrew in Across the Spider-Verse, right? Like they showed their deaths of Uncle Ben and Captain Stacy, like to showcase the fixed point of time in a Spider-Man's history. Like, I don't know. I have no fucking clue what the fuck's gonna happen Beyond the Spider-Verse, but just to like bring it back to Dawson's point, like as a fan of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, there is a part of me that's like, fuck, he deserved a trilogy. They should really give him a trilogy. Or at the very, very least now, they should at the very least make him like the Spider-Man who fights Venom and Morbius and all those guys. That to me would be, kind of a W, but even though the writing is horrendous, I don't think Andrew's gonna sign on for it. We'll see.
Didn't they do something with Madam Web with him?
Let's not talk about that. Let's just not talk about that movie. Let's just not.
You have to watch. Dawson, did you watch Madam Web?
No.
You gotta watch it at this point.
It.
No, they need to watch. At this point, you have to watch it.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, when it's free on Netflix or whatever, I'd imagine Dawson's probably.
That's when I'm planning on doing that.
Yeah,
when it's free.
Yeah,
brutal.
And I don't have to pay for that garbage.
Like it was.
I've seen
clips.
I've
talked about it. It's super disappointing. It is one of the most disappointing movies I've watched in a long time.
I've seen clips, and every clip I saw was just awful.
It's almost on the same tier as like Terminator Salvation, where you're like,
I watched that the other night.
I like Terminator Salvation.
I do too, but like it's on that same tier in the sense that you're like, I see what you're going for. I see what you had, and I saw all the ingredients you had, and you could have had something really, really good, and then you just
you know what? Watching it again, I didn't mind the Arnold Schwarzenegger cameo thing.
No, not at all. I didn't mind it when I first saw it. I was like, that makes sense,
But there's so many people that were like, "Oh, you could tell he's fake." I'm like, I don't care, dude.
But that was in the age of where they wanted to criticize CGI like left and right.
I feel it's really a little more in line with Terminator Genesis as opposed to Salvation.
Woo!
Yeah,
that's a rough one. The thing too is that like Salvation looked cool, like the lighting, the special effects, like everything was like it was a recipe for something really fucking cool, and then it was just like at the end. I was like, oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I didn't like what they did with Kyle Reese. Like, I could care less about the kid. I know it was his dad, but I could care less.
And he did a great job playing Kyle Reese, and he looked and acted just like Michael Biehn, from the first Terminator. I was like, dude, this is great. And then the story
isn't that the guy that played Chekhov in the new Star Trek movies?
Yeah, he's dead now though, but
He did. He had an accent.
Yeah, his car. He tried to. I don't know. He got pinned and smashed by his own car, and then he died.
Oh,
but moving on. Your God's Madam fucking Web. 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. Yeah, like the spider people in the jungle. Yeah, at that point I was like, wow, we're really gonna go there. Okay.
I saw a picture of that, and it's just like, really, like that's where you're gonna say that the Spider-Man suit comes from. The design.
It was just really? All that would have been cut out if it was my movie. I'd have been like, okay, we're not showing any of this. This is like local theater. What the hell are
you doing here?
Production. But still, I think that it would be cool to get an Amazing Spider-Man 3. I don't think it'll ever happen. I think we have a better chance of getting a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Even that, I think, is still a long shot to ever happen.
Okay, Did you see the ridiculous rumor that apparently Sam Raimi is coming back to direct Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4? And I'm like,
no,
yeah, like a week ago it was Avengers Secret Wars, and then a week before that it was Tobey's Spider-Man 4.
And then a week before that it was Avengers 5. They were like, oh, he's going to do Avengers 5. And then he's going to do Avengers 5 and Secret Wars. Like, okay.
And then even Sam Raimi came out and was just like, I haven't got a call for anything, so it is what it is.
Well, it's funny. It's like they're demanding that he comes back for something, and it's like, guys, you had him for Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, and you all crapped on that. So I mean,
and I love that movie. That is in my top
it's a fun
5
movie.
MCU. It's in my top 5 of the MCU.
What?
I fucking love that movie. That movie's amazing.
But that's really different, really fun.
That's me.
So I do enjoy that one.
I do like that John Krasinski got like turned to spaghetti. That was hilarious.
I just love that he was in there. It did my
he
heart
got turned
good.
to spaghetti and then his head popped. Oh!
Yeah, right.
I was like, damn. I was like, well, they killed him off.
Kevin Feige was like, okay, fine. You fans want to see John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic? Okay, you're gonna get John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
And then they complained about that too.
Minutes. Yeah, of course they did, because they always complain.
This was weird too. Like when they
did,
the shot,
and that was
weird.
Super goofy. It was a choice.
But even in the movie, it didn't even serve a purpose. It was like people noticed it and then started posting it on social media, and I was kind of like, why did they do that for? Like,
what they use?
It's a shot from Spider-Man's point of view of him swinging towards a building.
Yeah,
and that's the shot they used, and it was from like I think it was from Spider-Man 2. Actually,
it was from 2. It was from Raimi's second film,
and so it was just kind of like when I watched it, and then it just seemed weird because I was like, why did you do that? Were you trying to put that in there to be like, oh, that's from the other movie? Cool. I don't know. I didn't understand the point of it.
And here's the thing: it doesn't even make any sense. Like if you're going to use that version of Spider-Man, and yet this movie takes place in 2003. Spider-Man 2 happened in 2004. So it's like, what are we trying to accomplish here?
You know, it was just really weird. It was really weird. But
it was just a goofy.
How we got onto this from Superman it's pretty crazy.
You know what? This is just the nature of comic book film discussion.
It really is.
Come full circle.
But
one thing leads to another.
I went to Full Circle.
So
did Andre.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Okay, so let's go to some breaking news that happened right before the show started. I just want to share this. So it looks like Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon franchise is planning on 4 more movies in a new approach to the trilogy, which would be like, 2 trilogies at that point. So now you're talking about a total of 6 movies. And essentially, Zack, along with the writer that they just mentioned right there, and one other guy, I forgot his name, that they have basically
Shea Haddon.
That they have basically outlined the story for 4 more films. They have treatments for 4 more films, and they've already written about 30 pages of Rebel Moon Part 3. And I guess they had always intended on this being a trilogy. So I think that's cool because, I mean, and look, it fits in line with what Zack usually does, where when he gets really into something, all of a sudden he'll start writing scripts and writing stories and expanding the whole universe, right? So I think this is cool that they've done all that. They've done some of the footwork on getting this universe expanded upon.
And they had an early screening just this week, and from what I've seen, it's definitely getting.
Oh no, they've had a few. They had one last Thursday at the Egyptian, and then they had one in London on Saturday or Sunday.
And the Snyderverse continues with Rebel Moon Kung Fu. There we go.
Yes, but from what I've seen, like it's getting a more positive reception than Part 1 because, of course, the culmination of what was set up in Part 1, and so there's a lot more action, a lot more interesting stuff going on and character.
Well, you kind of take a Dune Part 2 kind of approach to it. You don't really have too much to set up. You just hit the ground running and just move on forward.
So basically, what they say here is this was always going to be a trilogy, and this is well known. We've talked about in the press already, which they have. When we delivered the first movie, it was 200 pages, so we were like, oh my god. And then we tried to cut it back to 135, and I think we started cutting all of the cool character stuff, and Zack's like, we need to go back. Like, how do we do this? And then again, this has been written about before. Then collectively, we said right around here in the 90th page, if we wrote a cliffhanger, which in the movie, what is the Gondival?
The Gondival. Yes.
Gondival scene. If we wrote that, then we could break this into two parts.
They're going to Harry Potter it?
Well, they already did. They broke it into two parts. Or Moon Part 1, Part 2.
So essentially what they're saying is that they had so much story they wanted to tell and they didn't want to cut out a lot of important meat off the bones that they just needed to make more films, which
I feel like
The Hobbit.
They're kind of approaching it in a way of like how they did what is Akira Kurosawa, how he did Seven Samurai in two parts.
Right.
You basically do that, and now you're applying that to 3 movies. But the thing is, each movie is split into 2 parts, hence you get 6 movies.
Yeah. So when I say 6 movies, it's really a trilogy with each movie being 2 parts.
Right.
So basically 2, 4, 6.
Right.
That's how we're thinking of it. But again, a lot of things have to happen. Our ambition and what we want to give to the fans don't always match up with the reality of the world's economy. But that's what we want to do. We want to give fans 6 movies or a trilogy in 2 parts.
And honestly, I'd much prefer that they give us more of the story than try to condense it as much as they can, because when you have the original, or I guess the original release cut of Rebel Moon, you saw a lot of things were cut from it. We'll get the extended cut. So like if we can get more of just longer movies with more of information and more of the character development, then like that's fine by me.
Yeah. Well, and he says here that Zach has already started writing because he's like that. I think he's already written the first 30 pages of movie 3. So once we get the green light to start writing, if that happens, it'll happen fairly quickly because Shay, Zach, and I are pretty fast. And we've done a lot of work. And it's like, well, what about this? We know exactly what we need to do. So they're ramped up. They're ready to go to start on these films. It's a matter of, and then I don't know if it says in here, but my question is that it doesn't say it in here. Is Zach going to direct all these films, or is he going to let somebody else do, directing? That's 6 movies.
I imagine it'd be a combo of him producing some and directing others. Just depends on which one he wants to take priority over. Yeah, I'd imagine like out of 6, at the most, he'd direct 3 of them, I think.
I think he'd direct all of them, but I'd also like to think that he might do other stuff in between each movie. Like, I mean, he's still conceptualizing the Army of the Dead sequel, Planet of the Dead. But then again, this very well could, if Netflix is game for it, I could see this being an absolute priority for them. So,
yeah.
Just
and that's the thing, too, is that if you're doing 4 more films, right? So, and essentially you're going to do a total of 6 films, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could, that's one way of breaking it up where you shoot them both back to back, then back to back.
This is true.
Back to back. And then so in that way, it's like you're just filming a big movie. Then in between that, he can do things like the Armyverse or what some fans say that he'll go back and do DC films. He will not. I can almost guarantee you he will never go back to do a DC film unless.
Now he's got 4 more Rebel Moon movies and more like Army of the Dead stuff. And also if he's still working on his Norse mythology show, I mean,
Twilight of the Gods is still slated to release, so yeah, it should.
Yeah, what will Dan Lin think of this?
He is the new boss of Netflix films. So
it says on here as well that where was it? He said Netflix is interested, and we're waiting to see how these first movies go. But there's certainly a treatment for 3 and 4. So really, it depends on the success of Rebel Moon Part 1 and Part 2 and the director's cuts. If they are a huge success, then they'll greenlight the next set of films, which is cool to think about, that we're going to get more Rebel Moon content and more Zack Snyder crazy universe, type content. So that I'm looking forward to. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this world, this new universe in particular, I mean, depending on how Part 2 ends, you can make the debate of whether or not there's room for more. And based on what they're saying, there absolutely is room for more. I don't think the story between Korra and General Balisarius is done, so to speak. I think there's absolutely room to improve and add more to a tapestry, if you will.
Well, when you're talking about starting a rebellion, right? And we know that there was the Blood Axes, and they had their army of rebels, which I'm only guessing. I have not seen the movie or heard what's happening in the movie, but I would imagine they're going to show up, to help defend in the attack on the planet. What was the name of the planet? I forgot already.
Rebel Moon.
Velt.
The
Velt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would imagine they're going to come help on Velt, but I love this comment. This is from Axel. He says, Ryan will hate the Rebel Moon sequel trilogy.
Well, at that point in time, the rebels will change to the Resistance, and it'll be a little bit different.
Why did they do that? That was so dumb. I was like, wait, who are the Resistance? And,
the First Order and the Final Order.
Yeah, it's like they relied so much on you need to read the novels that came out as prequels. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you had to read and learn about before any of it really made complete sense. But yeah, why were they called the Rebel Moon? It should have just been the New Republic. Cool. It should have just been the New Republic.
I just need to see the second one to like get excited for more, because I mean, just like, oh hey, they want more. Okay, cool. Let's see how this one plays out. Let's see if it's
and guys,
good.
Real quick, guys, we have 86 watching right now. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on X, make sure to follow the account you're watching on, because we usually are live every single week talking about all this great and incredible content.
If you're watching on X, you're watching on my account. So
yeah. So
Damn
follow.
It.
Damn it! You know what?
I haven't been on X.
I bet you
a long time.
if we gave you access to all of our X accounts, we would have like a bajillion viewers right now.
You wouldn't have mine because I don't have an X account.
Yeah. On Threads. On Threads. Okay,
I don't think you can do live on Threads yet. I think they're prototyping it, but they haven't.
So
done
you can do
yet.
on Instagram for an hour, but not on Threads.
Yeah, and then after an hour, it just stops abruptly. Like, boop.
Yeah,
weird.
It's weird.
Kinda dumb,
it's really weird. But I think it's cool that we're getting more Rebel Moon.
Yes.
What do you guys think about Rebel Moon and the idea that we can get up to 4 more movies after this?
I think it's ambitious. I think it's ambitious, but it's also good because, in a landscape where Hollywood is notorious for just rehashing sequels and remakes and reboots, I feel like, people are clamoring for something new, and then they get presented with something new, and it's like, oh no, not like that. And it's like, what do you really want here? Okay, I think truthfully, like if Netflix can't get, because if you look at licensing deals, if you look at the way things are now, like each major motion picture studio has their own streaming service, more or less, minus Sony. So Netflix needs original stuff. Stranger Things is coming to an end. The only other thing that has any semblance of a similar popularity is Wednesday. Outside of that, I feel like this would be a very good avenue of them to be, it very much is, at least to me, viable, because each part, the first film, Rebel Moon, parts 1 and 2 only cost like $166 million. That's
right.
Even like a fraction of, some of their most expensive movies that they've made. So I was thinking about
BVS, but that was an expensive ass movie too.
That's also a different studio with different intention of release too, right? So I'm just thinking like something like Red Notice or The Irishman, stuff that Netflix has made that has significantly cost more to make. I feel like when it comes to Rebel Moon, it very much is, in a sense, probably profitable for them, especially when they have the idea of built-in extended cuts as a release model too. Like you're basically getting to watch the same movie twice after an extended period of time if you have a subscription.
And also
they're getting double the watch time on it.
If they play their cards right with these extended editions, they could also do like, I know they're steering away from this, but they could do like physical release and get some good revenue that way, because the Snyder fan base is definitely willing to buy physical copies, if not multiple copies.
Well, Netflix does do physical release on some things, not all things.
Like Stranger Things, they did physical release.
Yeah. Right? I think even Wednesday might even be slated for a physical. I don't know about that for sure, but
so this would be good for Netflix, as far as like, this is a cheap franchise for them to have, the own. They don't have to go to anyone. They don't have to purchase from anyone. They got the first look deal with Snyder for however long. And they've got something that they can grow on, and expound upon. And I think it's cheaper for them to do so. Just, you want 12 Rebel Moon shows and animated movies or whatever, any sort of media that they can help produce it's cheaper for them in the long run.
Yeah.
Especially if it's original and has their banner under it, right? Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Actually, you still could get a Blood Axe spinoff. It could be a prequel. So you saying, "Oh wait," is not that clever.
There's also more than one Blood Axe too.
Exactly.
So
already
there's
hard.
that. I think if you're wanting something specific with Ray Fisher, then yeah, I think you can read the prequel comic that features his character, or hope for a prequel spinoff show. I don't know.
I'd binge the heck out of that.
Oh, yeah, of course. I don't think any one of us would deny like watching that in any form. But yeah, I mean, it's all in good fun, I think, and Netflix seems to be like the only place where I think a few filmmakers have, at least to date, said they feel creatively free of other studios. Because I mean, look at Universal. They just got in Gareth Edwards to do Jurassic World 7, 4, whatever the fuck it is, right?
Yeah.
What kind of limitations are on him for that? Like what kind of creative shackling does he have on that franchise?
Yeah,
shackling.
Or
like, to bring it back to DC, like what kind of box is James Gunn going to put directors in when it comes to making certain movies? Like, whoever gets to direct Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, like, will they have to strictly follow the Woman of Tomorrow book? Will they be able to move out of said box? Like, that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like at Netflix, a lot of these producers and directors and filmmakers just have a lot more creativity and freedom to do what they want, as opposed to doing what the studio wants.
But then Dan Lin showed up. Now Dan Lin's going to say, I changed all this.
Okay, here's the funny thing. Dan Lin wouldn't leave Rideback to head DC Studios, but he totally left.
Supposedly that was the hang up.
But apparently he left Rideback to take over Netflix film division. So it's like,
I think that was just to get his name out, just sort of like give him a little bit of buzz. Because
he was
fuck is Dan Lin?
He was campaigning, definitely. His team was.
Sure. Yeah,
but the idea that they were like, oh, well, he didn't want to leave Rideback, and so that's why it didn't work out. To be honest, I don't think it was ever at that stage where, I think that was something that was probably passed along through all the trades. Like, oh, well, he probably doesn't want to leave Rideback. Oh, I heard he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave Rideback. Oh yeah. But I mean, like. I think all along, once the Luke and Abney showed up, their whole goal was we got to find someone to take over DC.
Yeah.
And I mean, apparently they went to James Gunn first and said, "Do you want it?" And he said, "No, I don't," because he didn't want to do it by himself. He was like, "Yeah, that's thank you." And then when they said, "How about you and Peter Safran?"
that he actually has with Batman, because Michael Oslin over there at Warner Brothers has done almost practically every single Batman IP release out there. His name's attached to it, and he's the one that was like, I think he recommended Keaton, and I mean, he's just the big Batman guy over there. So if they're going to do Brave and the Bold, I wonder how much carte blanche or how much of rope that he's going to allow for what's his face James Gunn for his creativity or spin
James
on Batman.
I think that I feel at least that James Gunn is probably going to have a pretty tight grip on what's happening in the DCU, especially early on.
And
I think
expanded universe, yes, I think so.
I think that looking at the past universe, and what happened there, what Marvel has done, I think he probably has in his head, I need to make sure whatever is happening within the DCU is going to be under my watch completely. And I think that means kind of like what Phil was saying, you're going to do Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Hey, I kind of wanted to do this and this in the film. How do you feel about that? No, I want it to be more centered on the
creative
story
differences.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like, I think he's going to have a much tighter grip because, I mean, you could run with the idea of like, just let the creatives do their thing. But I think when you look at what Marvel did for so many years, it was kind of like they can do their thing, but they have to hit on certain.
They have to do it in their
check boxes. Yeah.
You
have to do within our. That's a better way of saying it. Yeah, within our sandbox, and I think that's what he's developing as we speak, really. But we'll see how it turns out.
I also think like when it comes to stuff like that, like for example, when it comes to like say James Mangold and Swamp Thing. When was the last time there was a Swamp Thing movie? Right, like we saw Creature Black Lagoon.
Well, the show they made was good. I liked it.
show and a movie are two different things. So you know,
but it was still
yes, they are, because you're presenting one to a giant mass audience in a theatrical form, not a television form. So it's vastly different.
Dude.
So
I
just feel like
Gaslighter.
I just feel like it's you know, since there hasn't been much of a prominent presence for Swamp Thing on film, there's more creative license to have James Mangold come in and literally just have free reign to do what he wants. Whereas, like, you know, Andy Muschietti and James Gunn, they kind of have to work pretty hard to distinguish Batman Brave and the Bold from not only the Batman, but also from every other prior Batman iteration that has come from it too. So it's just really,
that's gonna be rough.
They're gonna bring in that lady that used to be in the 1960s show along with Alfred. You know, I forget the lady's name. She was
in the
there's more
Batman.
No, it's actually a different character.
Is it?
Her name's Dory in the Batman, but you're thinking of Aunt Harriet.
Yes. I think they're gonna do, you know, the same thing with Jonathan Kent being alive and all that stuff or whatever that they're doing for Superman. I think they're gonna do that to sort of like, it's got to be a little bit different from everyone else's iteration.
I think when it comes to Brave and the Bold, it's going to be one or two things. I think the main thing, I think what they're going to do with this film is that it's going to be, you know, you're going to have a new Batman, obviously, but
Jensen
you're
Ackles,
going to have a lot of scenes and dialogue. You're going to have a lot more of the Bat family in the movie.
Oh yeah, Dick Grayson's definitely going to be there.
Well,
as
what I'm saying is that like it's going to be more of like an ensemble movie. More like of a team movie as opposed to just a Batman movie.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's why he's calling it
like Batman and
Bold.
Robin.
I mean, he's not even calling it Batman Brave and the Bold. He's just calling it Brave and the Bold.
Right.
Because it's going to be about the Bat family dealing with a situation, whatever the hell it's going to be.
They have to be brave and bold.
Honestly, I would not be shocked to see Brave and the Bold be some kind of combination of like the Batman and Son animated movie and the Batman Bad Blood movie, where you have Batman and Damian and then the extended Bat family, and it's going to be them versus like Talia, Ra's al Ghul, whoever, right? Like I feel like that's what that movie is.
What if it's more like the cartoon Brave and the Bold?
No,
he's going for campy.
He's not maybe fat.
I don't think you bring in Andy Muschietti to try and do Brave and the Bold that way.
I almost feel like he might go with the blue and gray Batman.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I would.
That's the only one that hasn't been done.
I for sure think they're going to do like a gray and blue Batsuit for this version of Batman.
Even the fact that Zack Snyder did Batman in the gray
black
suit,
and gray, yes,
that was, and then when you see it on screen, I was like, that works so good.
He's not just dark. You know,
yeah, because
you can see the muscle definition.
Like,
I love
just
it.
black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
he was imposing.
Like the Panther suit from, or you know, they call it that, from Batman Forever. The suit he starts the film off with is just jet black all the way down, except for like,
jet black, and the logo is yellow. That's it.
And the belt.
And the belt.
He was just super.
And the nipples.
And the nips.
And weirdly enough, the Sonar suit did not have the nips.
Nope.
In Batman Forever, it did not have the nips. But George Clooney's suits, on the other hand, they absolutely had the nips.
The Sonar suit was the birth
but
of
Batgirl.
We're about to get real wacky with our suits.
Oh man,
I mean that was the first indication that like we're gonna kick this up a notch in the next film.
I fucking love that Sonar suit in Batman Forever.
What's crazy too though is that like where they hit really well in the old or in the original Batman movies was that Nightwing's Robin's suit was badass, and then his Nightwing suit, even though he was still Robin, was badass. I liked both those suits. I was like, wow, that looks really good.
Yeah. I was like, why is it red? When I was a kid, I was like, why is it red? It should be blue.
It should be blue, but I think they were just like, you know.
And then in New 52, they made it red.
In New 52, it was red. I was
and
saying
that was the most
when it started off in New 52, it was red.
And then they went back to blue because it didn't work, I guess, or sell, or they were just trying to go back to what was.
I don't know. I didn't mind the red.
Different.
Neither did I. I don't think the red's a bad aesthetic choice.
I think the only issue with that is that you have Jason Todd with all the red, and so like,
yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
and Robin's got that red. Oh, I don't like it.
There is another thing that they could do, and I don't think they will because I think it's going to be too hard. But like, because I mean, when you look at like the image that he used for Superman, right? That was All-Star Superman. He's taken a lot of inspiration from All-Star Superman in making this movie. The image he used for Brave and the Bold was, what was it? It was
actually
Batman?
technically
Grant Morrison's Batman, where it wasn't even Bruce Wayne.
It was Dick.
It was Dick
and
Grayson.
Damian. Yeah.
Yes.
And he was wearing a blue and gray suit.
And so I sort of thought, like, what if this new universe starts out where Batman is just missing? And I mean, obviously they'll figure out why eventually, whatever the story they're going to go with. But could it be that Brave and the Bold takes place in a world where Bruce Wayne, they don't know he's gone missing, they don't know where he's at, and so Dick Grayson has taken up the mantle as Batman, like he did in the Grant Morrison comic.
Just watch it end, just like The Force Awakens, where all of a sudden Jensen Ackles just turns around at the end and then cut to credits.
But I think it would be cool to see the Dick Grayson, Damian Wayne,
and then
kind of like shitting on each
batarang.
other relationship where he doesn't respect him, he doesn't listen to him, and he's trying to teach him. You kind of have that Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker relationship where where they don't really, Anakin never really trusted him. Okay,
look at this beautiful suit right here. Just I love the Sonar suit here. Oh,
I do like it. There are
It's a
parts
good
of that I
suit.
do like.
Good looking suit. Okay. But yeah, I'm with Andre. I'm kind of curious to see if like how they're going to present like the Batman and the Damian dynamic, like, because in in the comic and in the animated movie, it's just sprung on Bruce. Like Talia just shows up and goes, "Hey, you have a kid," and he's like, "What?" Like he's completely fucking flabbergasted at the fact that he has a child, and he's just like, "Wait a minute, was this from that night you made me do what you want me to do?" And she basically tells him, maybe.
But then after Final Crisis, he died. What they think is that he had died, and really he was shot back in time. Which they could change that to be something totally different, because I don't think they're going to start off Superman with the idea of like, oh yeah, we already did Final Crisis, but you haven't seen it. Sorry, you know what I mean? So like, it wouldn't surprise me if Batman's missing, and that's one of the ideas of like, where is he? Like, why can't we find him? And that actually would kind of help their cause in that if you still have the Batman Part 1 and the Batman Part 2 and the Batman Part 3 still yet to be made and released, then you could release Brave and the Bold that actually doesn't even have a Bruce Wayne Batman. It just has Dick Grayson as Batman. And so that kind of like gives you time to end out your Pattinson trilogy and then bring the real Batman. I'm just saying.
I think it'd be cool to start the film that way. But I think if you have films, that are Dick Grayson is Batman centric with Pattinson's Bruce Wayne, they'd be like, oh, Bruce Wayne's better, and screw Dick Grayson, he's not Batman, and all this other shit. It just won't.
You're gonna run into that no matter what you do with these fanboys.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you started where that's one of the mysteries that they're dealing with is, where is Bruce Wayne? Like, what happened to him?
Where
but then they're also trying to.
Is Carmen Sandiego?
I don't want your money. I want Aquaman.
It's a now.
There's going to be some kind of nod in Superman, the movie. Like, I think while the character himself may not show up, I think there's going to be a passing reference to Gotham or Batman in that.
Oh, absolutely. There has to be. And that's why, like I think it, like, I doubt he's going to do this, but like, I think it'd be a really cool aspect if Superman, I want to call it Superman Legacy, if Superman has like this sort of theme where, the Justice League that we know of, the Hal Jordan, Batman, Wonder Woman, all the original core members, they've all disbanded from the Justice League and they're all doing their own things. And so
they've all died.
Like, he has these flashbacks throughout the movie of the team being together. And now the team consists of, Mr. Terrific and, all the characters that they're showing. That's what the team has kind of become, because the team is more of like
Maxwell Lord is in this movie too, played by his brother Sean Gunn. So,
right. But you also have what's his name, the other Lantern that they're gonna have.
Yeah, Guy Gardner. Do you think he'll be a Green Lantern, or do you think that he'll be in like that Death of Superman like outfit where it's like
he's
a G?
For sure going to be a Green Lantern.
Yeah, he'll be a Green Lantern. I think
he's going to be a Green Lantern.
Because think about it, like if that's your Green Lantern on this current Justice League team, along with Mr. Terrific and everybody else who they're gonna Hot Girl, what's up, Dwayne?
Howdy, Dwayne.
Maybe that's because we know that this is going to lean heavily into the development of the Authority. So it's like maybe, he's conflicted because his team can't do the things that he wants them to do because they have to follow by the government rules now, because now they're an international team. And so they cover the entire world. And so, it could be something like that.
Justice League Unlimited.
And it's kind of like, kind of like Watchmen, how there'd be flashbacks to where it would show the original Watchmen team and their glory days and all that. I think that aspect would be pretty cool. I just don't know if James Gunn can pull that off. But if you have like a Watchmen style where it was like, where he's reminiscing on like, what went wrong, like how did we get to this team?
I think
not the original characters.
When it comes to the Authority, it's going to be like the anti-Watchmen, where that was a movie about superheroes and their consequences of superheroes. The Authority is going to be all about superheroes not at all acknowledging or dealing with their consequences. It's just their justice, no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a reason why there's a call to attention to them specifically, because they are a unit that operates deliberately on their own brand of justice. And I think they're unlike the Watchmen. They're going to be like, oh no, fuck that. Whatever we say is law. Like, that's it. End of conversation. And that's why you have people like Superman, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific coming in being like, no. This is not how regular justice is served. This is not how humanity as a whole fucking operates. This is Then you've got people in the Authority being like, that's cute. You think you can tell us what to do? That's adorable. That's right. That's why I think that the Authority is on that slate specifically to counterbalance the chipper and brightness that a lot of these heroes are often accommodated with.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's why he introduced Authority, because he needed a team that would offset the Justice League team, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if he starts out with the team that he has, and then that later evolves into
what up, Antonio?
What's up, Antonio? That later evolves into like it evolves back into the team that he used to have, that have Batman, that has Wonder Woman, that has all Aquaman, all the main characters come back together again for their Justice League movie. Because I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if someone like Wonder Woman was in this movie. And he hasn't announced that, he hasn't done that, but like, to me, I don't know, it's kind of like, if you're gonna do a Superman movie, it'd be cool to have a cameo of Wonder Woman, and because she plays a pivotal part in his story for the most part. And him and Diana have had relationships and affairs almost with each other. And so it'd be interesting to see the two of them, her showing up, or, her staring at a picture of the original Justice League and having a flashback of, sort of like what we saw in Watchmen when she had the flashback when she got raped, but that was a little darker. I don't think we're going to get that, but I'm saying like you would get scenes like that.
We will either.
Where you're kind of like, okay, so.
I think it'd be kind of bold if James Gunn did a new 52 Superman Wonder Woman romance in this universe. That'd be pretty bold.
Pretty brave.
Haha. I'm laughing.
You create quite a legacy.
Oh, no.
That was good. That was funny.
Okay.
Let's kick some ice.
That's a good icebreaker right there.
Indeed.
Did you guys see this trailer that was making its rounds? It's from Screen Culture. You know how they make all those fake trailers for different types of, and so they made an AI trailer for a Zack Snyder Justice League Part 2, and a lot of it's just like slow motion shots, like because they can't make the characters. They can't make the characters do much. You know what I mean? Because it's all AI.
Well,
it'd be like those Tom Hanks AI movie trailers. You guys seen those? It's like, I'm the freaking Wizard King, and like it just, I don't know. Anyway, you have to look those up. They're freaking hilarious.
What was that one he did? The Polar Express, and then the sequel to that was The Flash, right? Special effects.
I see what you did there. That was good.
So I'm just gonna show a little bit of it because I found this. It was floating around. I was like, well, that's kind of cool, I guess. And of course it's in 4:3, so I was reading that. What's going on? So this is it right here. It's a volume on.
I wonder if I've seen this one already or not. I might have.
Can you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You exist because I allowed you to
That's not a good shot. Her face is like,
You should not exist outside my control. I am becoming everything.
We still have the chance to change everything.
I don't believe in hope anymore. Hope doesn't exist anymore.
That's pretty cool.
2025. That's not enough
Got a
time.
couple cool shots in there.
It was a cool shot. I mean, it was
Some
cool,
decent
but
shots,
like,
yeah.
I like
it's
seeing the
just-
Batman shots the most. I thought those were
Yeah.
like
There was the
most
one where like the
interesting.
lasers are coming out, and he's just like,
Nah, I like the Batmobile shot. I like with his goggles down. He had the gun.
the first one
and
where
then
he's like
him and
perched.
Wonder Woman together. I was like, oh,
with
this
the
is cool.
sword. Ah!
Yeah.
So he was holding. He was holding her sword.
It was cool. I think
It
I
was
saw
cool.
the thumbnail for that, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I think I saw the thumbnail, but then I didn't watch it.
then I realized that this is fake. So it's I mean, like this shot here, I thought was cool. Them driving through the
Yeah. I was
desert.
like, ooh, Mad Max with
Mad Max
Yeah.
with DC characters.
Yeah,
The
that's cool.
Batmobile, that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks like a Batmobile.
Now there's a. Then I
That's
guess he has a
cool.
flamethrower because either that
It's
or the
supposed to be
AI.
a gun, but the animation didn't know what to do with the image, so it made it a
It's
flamethrower
obvious.
instead.
It didn't know how to.
His ears
yeah,
are
it
also
didn't know
a
what it
little too
wanted.
long too.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
looks cool how clear it is, though.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I think they recast.
They
Cyborg.
recast him apparently. She got jacked up. Like, see that he's
Yeah,
holding the
that's
sword.
cool.
He's holding the sword. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, get behind me.
Excalibur!
He's like, Diana, get behind me. I'll defend you. She's like,
She's like,
dude.
you're gonna die.
She's like, I am a god. Thank you very much.
She's all terrible lines in that trailer.
But
Yeah.
this is what you're fighting for, Kevin. No, I'm joking.
Kevin's already, Kevin, you're already just,
'Cause I'm willing to die for that trailer.
you're critiquing a trailer. It's not even Zack Snyder's. It was screen culture. But anyway, that was pretty cool. Again, just seeing like the
was neat.
images. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
neat. It was like, oh, cool.
There's some shots in there that probably could have used a couple more one-overs, but it is
Like
what it is.
like this shot right here. This is the full shot. Him with the
Real
sword.
quick.
cool.
We got
That's
Dwayne
cool.
Jackson with
Yay!
the $50
Yay!
super chat, dude.
Thank you, sir, man.
Dwayne, we appreciate you. Let's give you an explosion real quickly here. You deserve it. And why not another? So his super chat here says, which by the way, thanks again. Question to the panel: why WB not releasing Acme vs. Coyote movie from the repost? I read the movie is good. I also hear conflicting reports they might or may not release it. Why spend the money to make it and not release it? Tax write-off.
I've actually heard that it is still technically up for sale, but if it
Really?
doesn't get sold, then they're just gonna can it. So I don't know. I would love to see the movie. It sounds like it was everything I didn't really necessarily ask for from a Coyote versus Acme movie, but the premise of it is intriguing enough. Like the Coyote is so sick and tired of having all these faulty Acme pieces just figuratively blow up in his face. He takes them to court, and then apparently throughout the plot you find out that that's all intentional, and they utilize the Coyote just to get more of their faulty shit out and like repeatedly make him pay for it. It's actually quite an interesting plot. You got fucking John Cena, Will Forte in there. They've got their fan bases collectively as comedians and actors. So like I don't see why they wouldn't release it. It would honestly, they should release it regardless of whoever fucking greenlit it, made it, whatever. They should release it and make a
Why
buck
don't
off
you just
of it.
release it on Max and just
Yeah,
say
right?
digitally? I just released it. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to go, get it in theaters. Get it, the reels. I don't know what costs.
We need
are involved with
content,
that.
guys.
The budget was somewhere between like 70 and 90 million. You spent the same as much as you did on fucking Batgirl, and it's like, the Looney Tunes still have a presence on Cartoon Network. I don't get
mean,
it. The
even-
thought process behind deleting this movie is just fucking almost more baffling than Batgirl.
But even Batgirl, like, let's say they never actually, can the movie, they would have had to have gone back and reshot like a bunch of stuff. Well, I guess not necessarily because
Yeah, who gives a
if they
shit?
went with the DeLuca and Abney ending, Keaton still would have been Batman, so that still would have worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Doesn't matter.
really just it doesn't matter.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had no idea this Acme versus Coyote movie was even happening until I heard all the stuff about it being canceled. I was just like, that was a thing.
I think
So
it's weird just to cancel projects that you've already
Release the
they're
Coyote
done.
cut.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
when they did it with Batgirl, almost every other studio was like, wait a minute, we can do this? and then it almost kind of set a precedent. Hell, even Bob Iger was like, yeah, we're dialing back the output of Marvel. We're cutting back on projects. And
Yeah.
we're even taking the initiative to say this might not be strong enough for release and just cutting it out entirely. It's like,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, like Ironheart, is that even gonna come out anymore? Like, what the heck's
Yeah,
up
I
with
hope
that?
not.
Apparently it is. Apparently
That
that
is
and
still
Wonder
gonna
Man
come
are
out.
still happening.
Yeah,
Wonder Man?
Wonder Man
Wonder
is
Man,
still that's what Yaya. He's
Yeah.
he's in Wonder Man.
He is Wonder Man, yeah.
Yaya from Aquaman.
Aquaman.
And
He
watch
didn't want- he didn't want that money. He wanted.
I don't
Aquaman.
want your money. I want Aquaman.
It's the last bit that gets me.
So he will be Wonder Man. Which whatever.
Oh.
But yeah, no, Ironheart is actually going through extensive reshoots this year. I
Just
think
like,
they
like
might be
Captain
done
America.
already. No,
Just like Captain America.
As far as I know, I
Yeah.
think I remember they're doing it in like towards the end of the summer, I think, and then it's coming out sometime next year as a Disney Plus series,
Allegedly.
allegedly. And the idea, but then what's crazy is that the idea or the news that like, oh, they're going to start developing a live action X-Men movie in Q4 of this year. I'm like, wait, what? How are you going to do that? That makes zero sense. To me, there was something wrong with that report because it made zero sense.
I think that they're taking pitches for scripts and stories, but I
Yeah.
don't think they've hired a writer. That's what I think as far as X-Men is concerned. I think the only X-Men thing they are truly like set on right now is X-Men 97. That's what I think.
Which,
Yeah.
with Alejandro right here, I mean, they need to just focus on X-Men while the hype is at its all-time high. I mean, yeah, just focus on that. They're doing a great job with that.
Yeah.
So, once
Yeah.
again, I want to give a big thank you to Dwayne. Much appreciated, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
coming.
and to just
Yeah,
like
thank you, bro. Thank you.
to simply answer the question as the information presented to us, tax write-off, goofy reason, sure, but like that's the reason they justified not putting out or releasing the movie was allegedly for a tax write-off. Then they caught a lot of heat for it, and now they're trying to sell it. If they do wind up selling it, more power to them. Honestly, they should have just released the movie in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dwayne, this is from me to you. Thank you for your super chat.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
That's how I'm feeling right now.
Venom says, "Who asked for Ironheart?" Actually, like, yeah, I mean,
Nobody did.
Well, she was in the Wakanda Forever sequel.
Who cares? I know. Well, look, at this point,
I don't care.
they're still going to do the Young Avengers, so they're like, we got to get that project going.
Before they're too old.
Yeah, and so then you already saw, the beginnings of it with,
Give me another
with Kate
Shazam.
Bishop and Miss Marvel. So now this is another character that they're going to give a series to that will lend to the new Avengers.
Hold on. Anthony actually has kind of a good point. Acme
Oh, the
vs.
Young
Coyote
Avengers. I'm sorry, Young Avengers.
could have been the #1 movie at the box office last week if it would have released. Honestly, between Godzilla, Kong, and Dune, Warner Brothers actually is pretty close to the $1 billion mark at the box office. If they put out Acme vs. Coyote, that would have just added more to that.
Dude,
So I
Dune
don't-
2 was badass.
Dune 2 was fucking
so
amazing.
good.
It was
So
so
damn
good. I was
good.
like, man, this
Freaking
is
my
masterclass.
bananas,
So
dude.
fucking phenomenal. And there's Godzilla Kong.
The
I still haven't seen
meme,
it.
the meme of Javier Bardem, like, everyone keeps playing that meme of him, like, what did you say?
Or I love the one where it's like I plug in the Wi-Fi router and fix the internet. My grandparents, listen, I'll
And I meant to say the Young Avengers. I didn't mean to say New Avengers.
Yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
new Hawkeye, Ironheart, new Black Panther, with
Echo.
Shuri, Echo.
No, I don't think Echo's a part of that. Echo's
No?
is-
Oh,
she's
Young,
she's her own thing.
the young
Not
Loki kid or kid Loki.
He's not. That was only in the season 1. That was it.
Yeah.
They're not bringing
He's
that
coming
guy
back.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
they'll
would have
bring
been
him
cool,
back.
but I don't see that happening.
They'll
now.
bring him back.
It's
This is
going to
not-
be.
Dr. Evil.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
I love that scene. The first one where Tim Robbins is the president. He asks for like this crazy amount of money. He's like, that's like asking for like a gajillion dollars.
Yeah.
Well, the first one he says they all like pull out their wallets and start just taking out change. It's like, oh yeah, that's fine.
But he was like, $1 million. We're like, okay, sure, no problem.
Oh my gosh.
A gajillion.
Is that real where it's like moms after watching Dune
Real
2?
where it's like
Come
moms
get
after watching Dune 2. Come get your dinner.
Come get your dinner. I can't hear it any other way except for that now.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, actually, Dune Part 2 actually just hit digital yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
seen Dune too, Ryan?
No, not yet.
The fuck
You
does
should
he
see it.
care?
I know. I'm just curious.
I'll watch it.
You,
I like
you
the
should see
first
it.
I
It's a
still-
good movie. It was really good.
I still need to get the Steelbook of Dune Part 1. My wife and I really want to get that. And also
I don't think
Part
I have
2.
the
You know-
Steelbook. I think I just have the Blu-ray. But
The other day, I was trying to watch Dune Part 1, but then I was kind of like, I already know what's going to happen. I just want to get to Part 2 now. I ended up stopping. I was like, I just want to watch Part 2.
I just want to watch Part 1 and then Part 2. I want to do that. I want to
Yeah.
watch them back to back.
Oh yeah.
I would have
my
loved.
son did that past weekend.
I would have loved to have seen them back to back in a
Yeah.
movie theater, but unfortunately, they did not do that. I don't know why, but they did not.
That'd have been awesome.
That would have been
Yeah.
great. I would have paid them money to see them both like back to back. I would have spent the 6 hours or whatever, however long, and just watched them back to back.
I would have paid them currency.
I would have paid the money. I would have given them my whole fucking wallet.
What's that gift? Like, shut up and take my money.
Yes.
Um,
Philip J. Fry, shut up and take my money.
And then we got this right here that this just popped up. I want to share with you guys. There's a tweet here that says Henry Cavill has reflected on his post-credit sequence appearances in his career, including Black Adam. He says, "Turns out I don't have much luck with post-credit scenes, so I may give up on those."
Good for him.
I mean, Justice League or Justice League, there's that
Yeah.
one. And then Black Adam. Gosh, that's true.
I mean, look what they did they not only fit a scene into this movie that was already done, then they shot this picture. They probably shot a bunch of other pictures too.
Yeah.
Had him do the video and then all for naught. It was like, wait, what?
Yeah, James Gunn's like, fuck you. I'm doing my own thing. Ha ha.
And to me, that's more of like, you guys are not communicating with each other. Come on, dude.
The right hand
James
doesn't know what
Gunn
the left hand is doing.
and James Gunn, I guess you could say he could have been like, wait, what would you do? Like, okay, well, I'll just adapt to that. Instead, he was like, no, I'm not doing that. That wasn't my plan. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So to speak to his actual current comment on that, his most recent movie, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, does not have a post-credit sequence. So that makes a lot of sense.
And that was the newest film that Phil got to see this week. So let's go to our segment, which is Phil at the movies.
Okay. So let me tell you all about Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Is this like the Sean Connery film? No.
No.
That's the Leave
So you're close.
Gentlemen. Yes.
You're well. Sean Connery. There is kind of a Sean Connery connection in that. Okay, so this is the movie Guy Ritchie made about the turning point in World War II that helped get United States troops onto United Kingdom soil. But this is also the same story that Ian Fleming utilized for his inspiration as James Bond. The character that Henry Cavill plays, Gus March Phillips, is the inspiration for James Bond. Ian Fleming, the person, is an actual character in the film, plays for British intelligence. The film itself is actually, if you know Guy Ritchie's filmography, you should be very familiar with what you're about to get here. It is, without question, one of the wittiest, fucking top-notch films of the year, in my opinion. Tight action, beautiful score, incredibly well-paced, beautiful chemistry between Alan Ritchson, Henry Cavill, and the rest of the cast. Isa Gonzalez does a really solid job as, I forget her character's name, but she's a really great job. She's got a part where she's just totally playing Nazis for fools. And especially if you're a fan of watching Nazis just get obliterated, watch this movie. I'm telling you, you will be happy as fuck. If you love watching Nazis meet their demise, watch this movie. This movie is made for
if you love Inglourious Bastards, you'll love this.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, if you
I
love
wanna see
watching
that. I
Nazis
wanna
just
see
get the
that.
absolute fucking dog shit beat out of them, shot, killed, murdered, whatever, this movie is for you.
Is this movie violent?
Yes, yes, it is.
Nice.
It is awesome. There are moments in this movie where Alan Ritchson actually takes out fucking dudes' hearts, and it is fucking hilarious.
Is it like shockingly violent where you're just like,
No.
oh god?
No, like there are effects that you see, and there's even stuff
Yeah.
you don't see that they allude to where you know what's happening, but you're just like, oh, you just leave it up to your imagination. I think Guy Ritchie does that really well. But yeah, this movie is the fucking sauce. I absolutely had a fantastic time. Go see it this weekend when it debuts. It is absolutely worth the theater trip. I enjoyed the hell out of it. 5 out of 5 for me. One of the best movies of the year.
5 out of 5. There you go. Thank you, Phil, for that review.
When did that
And-
start? I want to know when you came up with it. I love that.
That
I love
was
that.
Well,
That was when you were gone.
in a while, so that's
so
been
was
a while.
that was for Godzilla Kong, right? When I saw it before.
I
everyone
think it was
else did.
Godzilla Kong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
the idea was that I was like, wait a minute. I was like, none of us have seen Godzilla Kong, and Phil has. So I told Ryan, I was like, I'm gonna make him a little segment and just blow him up full screen. Like, okay, go.
I love
Because
that,
none of us could
actually.
talk about it, so we're like, oh.
Yeah, Dwayne
Got
Johnson.
another
Oh,
super
sorry,
chat
that was
for-
my bad.
Wow,
Very good.
Andre
Dwayne
Cheese.
Jackson. Another explosion for you, my man.
Thank
Dwayne
you,
here
sir.
says, absolutely, thank you. He says, if there's another Bond film, do you guys think Cavill can fit as the new Bond? I absolutely think he can. Wasn't there
Oh,
rumors
yeah.
circling around?
I
Wasn't
think
there
they'll
rumors
go
circling around that
younger.
was like Taron Egerton? Or who was it? No, not Taron Egerton. The
Aaron
freaking
Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
get that one. I didn't get that casting. I was like, I don't see it, but
Apparently, when they were rebooting Bond for when Daniel Craig took the role, it came down to Craig and Cavill, and they ultimately went with Craig, which is
Yeah,
like
I
Cavill
like
was
Daniel
on the
Craig,
short
though.
list. I don't know if it was between those two, but he definitely got to speak with the final, or getting to the final round or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think now, I think he's too old for Bond. As far as like trying to do films beyond, because they're gonna want to do a franchise, or go
Do
again.
you guys know Henry Cavill's going to be a dad?
Oh
Yeah.
no, I didn't. Cool.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
walking with his girl, and she was like hella pregnant. I was like, oh
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, apparently he's going to be a daddy.
gonna be a
Nice.
super baby is what that's
Congratulations,
gonna be.
man. That's awesome. That's way better than
Nice.
any role you've ever gotten.
And then collectively over the rest of the world, women cried in complete and utter despair because they did not, in fact, get impregnated by Henry Cavill.
That's it. In fact,
you
when
go.
Phil saw it, this is what he did.
But to be honest with you, Dwayne, I think they would want to go with somebody younger and somebody that they would have longevity, just like the whole Pattinson Batman. They want a younger person to just like grow a franchise and make multiple films. Yeah, he's on the short list.
Can you imagine if they casted Corn Sweat as
Oh,
James
that
Bond?
pissed me off. No.
You know who I could see actually getting it? Austin Butler.
I was gonna say
Oh,
Austin
I
Powers.
could.
No.
I could. Austin Powers.
I see that happening purely to piss people off too, because they would see it, they'd understand it, and they'd be like, I fucking hate this. Like they make the same exact face Dawson just made.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
See? Point proven.
Keep that away from me. Like, I like Austin Butler. Don't get me wrong. If it's Bond, no.
I want to see Austin Butler as the Joker. That's what I want to see.
I'd like to see that too.
I would love to see that. I would love to see Austin Butler as the
As
Joker.
the Joker.
He looks more like Kevin Bacon for like maybe a Footloose prequel.
No.
I love me some
Reboot.
bacon.
Another fit.
Oh, you know what? It might have been
I
for
don't need another
Roadhouse.
one.
No, we all saw the Roadhouse. Never mind.
Yeah, no, it was Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
He's the new Bond, Austin Powers, baby.
Man, I would love for there to be a fourth Austin Powers movie, but it's
Oh,
probably
gosh.
not
Austin
gonna
it's
Powers
fu-
is
yeah.
old.
It's way
He's
too
so old.
Way
now.
too old.
But you know what though? All those films, they're so funny.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Okay.
they got a little more ridiculous as they went on, but they were. I mean, especially the first one, it's
Sure.
a good movie.
Spy Who Shagged Me is also pretty solid.
Yes,
if you ask
they're
me,
all
too.
good.
I think you could do an Austin Powers movie, but you have to make it about his child, and you have to put Austin Powers in the Michael Caine role. You basically kind of
Sure.
spoof the third movie
I can see
and make
that.
it about Austin Powers Jr. finding Austin Powers.
With my Faja.
Where's my Faja?
Yeah, I mean, their interaction was great. He and Michael Caine. The one that I felt was kind of out of place was Beyonce. I was, she was like,
Well, she was hot at the time. She was
very attractive back
super
then,
popular.
but very super popular. But I think she detracted from the film a little bit. I liked everyone else in the role. I liked Heather Graham from she was the second one, and then the first one was, who was that? That was that girl that played in Weird Science.
No,
the Weird Science reboot or show.
Maybe the reboot.
No.
I don't know. Not the original one.
No, not the original. The original was, I remember her. But yeah, no.
What's her name? She was married to Hugh. She was married to Hugh Grant. I remember that. She was. At one point.
Yeah,
that's right.
I forgot her name though, but
yeah,
I loved
in
the second. I think it was the second and third one they did it, where maybe it was in the first one too, when they did the shadows. So he was inside the tent.
I think that was in the second and thurd one.
Yeah, second and third. Yeah, when Mini-Me was under his jacket,
he was in.
He was like, "Yeah, drink this." They need a urine sample.
And he tossed it up to him. He goes,
that, and then I love
they were doing the rock paper scissors.
Yeah, they're like, I love it looks like someone's gonna have to stand on someone's shoulders. He stands on his shoulders.
But then that was what happened, and then we saw, of course, what happened in Obi-Wan with Leia.
Hide her under the jacket. Yes, Elizabeth Hurley. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, thank you so much.
Oh,
that's
right. I need to rewatch those movies.
Right, I feel compelled to rewatch those films now.
I'm like Will Ferrell, he's like, I'll never tell you. He's like, where is Dr. Evil's Leia? Kiss my ass. I'm going. Whatever.
I would actually buy Will Ferrell.
Dr. Evil's Leia. Damn, 3 times.
I would buy Will Ferrell as a villain in an Austin Powers movie. I could see that happening now.
Yeah.
I mean, he was basically that in Zoolander.
This is true. This is very true.
What was his name in Zoolander? It was
hold on.
It was like Moss 2. No, it was forgot his name. He had a ridiculous name.
Mugatu.
Yeah, Dr. Mugatu or Mr. Mugatu.
What is this? A center for ants?
Oh god.
It needs to be at least 3 times this size. You're right. You're absolutely right.
The files are in the computer.
They're in the computer.
Here where all the files go. I love the fact that on social media there's been the trend of using the audio from when Zoolander and Hansel meet each other in the hallway.
Yeah. They do that
Right.
all the time.
It's in the computer.
And they play that music.
Who's the bald actor who was friends with Zoolander in that movie?
I don't remember.
He's
remember.
He played himself. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to find this. Freaking A. Who is this guy? Zane, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane
Yeah, Billy
was in
Zane.
Zoolander?
Yeah, he was Zoolander's friend as Billy Zane.
Yeah, he was just Billy Zane.
Oh, okay.
He was just there.
Well, I mean,
right.
nothing tops the after he loses, they go, "Hey, you want to go out for some whatever smoothies or whatever? Let's go!" And they're
in the Jeep. Yeah.
And then they're spraying the gasoline and
Just because you
Yeah.
does not mean that you can't not die by a freak gasoline fight accident.
I think I have the Black Death. the black lung. The black lung.
You might be ashamed that her son's a mermaid. Merman. Merman.
He's like, I can't believe I lost to him, to Hansel. She's like, think about it. He literally had to pull his underwear out of his pants to beat you. Doesn't matter.
I love my favorite part of that movie is Hansel's story. No, Hansel's story where he's like, one time I was climbing Mount Vesuvius and I started to slip and fall. And then, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. And I thought to myself, Hansel, haven't you been smoking peyote for the past 3 straight days? And couldn't this all just be in your head? And it was. I've never even been to Mount Vesuvius. It was like hot bread, Zeke. Yes, Sri, we are indeed recapping the whole movie. It needs to happen.
Pretty much.
Yes, Billy Zane tried to convince Zoolander not to accept the walk-off challenge. He was the reasonable friend to Zoolander.
Correct.
Billy Zane. I love that movie.
It was a good
So
movie.
dang much.
It was a good one. I mean, they don't make them like that anymore. They don't.
No.
You know,
No.
it's like-
No, they do not. They do not make them like that anymore. Speaking of which, you guys see Happy Gilmore 2 is apparently going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that and I was
R.I.P.
like,
Carl Weathers.
yeah, I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, again, every time I see one of these films get rehashed or even like remade, I always dread the inevitable.
Yeah.
One day they're going to say, Back to the Future is being rebooted after Zemeckis and
After
everybody else
Zemeckis
died.
passes away, they're
Well,
gonna
Zemeckis and Bob Gale, both of them.
I
It's in
just
both
know
of their
in our
contracts.
lifetimes, it'll probably happen. Like, fuck. Here we go. Like Tropic
Yep.
Thunder, you can't do that.
No,
Pretty hot
Nope.
shit.
no,
You can't do
do
Tropic
now.
Thunder. That was
Not
one of
now.
their last
No.
great films.
Yeah.
One of the last great
It was
comedies.
Booty Sweat.
Oh my god, I forgot that David Duchovny is in Zoolander.
He was the hand guy.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
He was the guy. And he's hella weird.
He had long hair.
Yeah. He was all like scruffy looking.
He was horrible, except his hand was in like this glass dome thing.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking love that movie. It's so dang good.
So now Dawson is torn between Austin Powers and Zoolander.
I have to go with Zoolander. I love that movie so freaking much. It's so funny.
I'm sorry. Tropic Thunder wins it all for me.
Oh, we have another super chat from Dwayne.
Hey,
Here we go.
Thank you, man.
$10. Here's another explosion for you, my friend. Let me get it real quick.
Battle
I'm
cry.
scrolling. Yes, let's get you battle cry. Where is it at? Heroes Cry. There we go. Love it. Dwayne here says, if Phil at the movies is a regular segment, if Siskel and Ebert was still a thing, which of the two between Ryan and Phil, which one is Siskel and which one is Ebert?
That's between you and Andre. Who's who?
I
It's
defer to
between-
Andre. Like,
If it,
I'd be the one that like left. I think it was like someone at the movies. Like it was.
well,
Ebert
he
movies,
said
or-
between Ryan and Phil. I mean, neither one of them are fat, but I guess you would be the fat one, Ryan, because it looks like you weigh just a little bit more than, than Phil
like-
does.
I guess I don't
Phil's a
know.
pretty thin guy.
He is a thin guy. I didn't saw him in person, so yes, he is thin. He's thinner than me. If that's all we're going by, is
yeah, it's
physical.
only.
Not personality.
I mean, looking back on like Siskel and Ebert reviews, I mean, it's no question. Like Ryan and I differ more often than not. That doesn't mean we hate each other, but
Yeah.
seriously, like, I don't know. I kind of see a
I'm not
little
even
bit of
laughing
both.
at that. I'm sorry.
I kind of see a little bit of both of us, both of them, and both of us. But I feel like
That's
would
what I say about my
probably-
kids.
I guess it really kind of depends, like on what movie it is. Because on certain movies, I could probably be a little bit of Roger Ebert, and then on other movies, Brian could probably take on the Roger Ebert persona. But then when it comes to other movies, I'm definitely a little bit more optimistic, like Gene Siskel.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
part
no.
right here.
Oh, that's the part.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
There's Andre over there. There's Dawson.
It's all over his hand.
For fuck's sake! Oh my god!
Oh
that
my
guy's
god.
dead. Poor
Oh
guy.
my god.
All right,
I remember
You know
watching
what?
the theater. I was dying.
Oh,
If
yeah,
anything,
Alex,
I'm probably Roger Ebert, and Ryan is probably Gene Siskel
Oh my gosh.
because I'm a little. Bit
Dwayne's like, what the?
This guy's just like, what the fuck?
My thoughts exactly, Dwayne. What the fuck? My thoughts exactly.
Oh my
This
god.
part two.
Oh, more and more. Yes, yes.
Good to see you.
Hey, there's Obi-Wan.
How are you? Skidding my sea legs. Sorry about that. Hello. You're right. Yes, it's a good hat. Very good hat.
Skinning my sea legs.
Which movie is it where he has that little cart thing and he has to like do
Oh.
a 6-point
That's
turn?
the first one.
The first
First film.
the
He's
first
like,
one.
get out of the way.
Oh, with the steamroller.
And he's like 20, 30 yards away.
That, and then of course you can't forget about the whenever Dr. Evil takes off in his shuttle to escape, it looks like a big penis.
like
So they're always like,
Johnson.
Yeah.
Looks like a
is
big
that?
Johnson.
And then I think in the third film, like they have a satellite that's like a giant pair of honkers. It's either the first or the third one. I don't remember which one it is.
I think it's the third one. I think
It's the third one. I think that has like a satellite that's a giant pair of honkers. And everyone.
Okay. So we have a cock and balls, and then we have a breast. What was the third one? They did it all 3 movies.
I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember he's like,
Yeah.
Can't even-
where he's like,
Yeah.
when he goes, preparation A was a failure. Preparation C through what? Now this is preparation H. So you might as well call it preparation ass cream.
And he was like, I don't understand your reference.
Yes, Dad. I would love some chocolate ass cream.
And then Mini Me jumps on the table and he goes to push the button to kill him. No, Mini Me,
Oh,
no.
the sharks.
He was like, "Wait, hey, man." He was
That's
gonna
2,
go.
right? Chocolate ass cream is 2, isn't it? It's the second one, I think.
Sharks with laser beams attached to their heads.
Lasers.
Sharks with laser,
Freaking lasers.
freaking lasers.
So damn, I gotta go back and watch them. I know it just popped in my head. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Fucking distributed those movies. Hold on.
Oh,
I love the intro with Tom Cruise as Austin Powers. That shit was
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
Danny
God.
DeVito was Mini Me.
Yeah.
Oh
He's like-
no. Are they what I think? Are they distributed by who I think they are? I think
Is
they
it Warner
are.
Brothers?
Who was Dr. Evil in that? I forget.
New Line, technically, but
Who was Dr. Evil? Are you kidding me?
No, for the Tom Cruise Danny DeVito thing.
Oh, was it Kevin Spacey?
Was it?
I think it might have been.
I don't remember. It could be.
Oh.
It could be.
It's a
Oh
funny
my
movie.
gosh.
Those are good. Those are really good.
Rob Lowe is number 2.
Oh yeah, Rob. Wow. No,
Oh man.
they go back in time and they're just like not even surprised to see him. They're just like, "Hello, Dr. Evil." Maybe like, "Whoa!" And then there was a lady who'd be like,
Oh, Frau.
Yeah.
She never changed between the.
Yeah, they're all
time
distributed by
periods.
NewLine.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone was a different actor except for her. She just looked the same the entire way through. Like, oh, you look the same.
Oh gosh, I
Good
haven't laughed that
Lord.
hard in a long time.
And then
You're
there was
welcome.
Ted Savage played that agent, and he had a huge mole on his face.
Oh, Fred Savage.
Fred Savage, sorry.
Yeah.
But he was like,
He's like mole.
Guacamole.
Mole.
mole. You're looking at my mole, aren't you? No, I'm not.
They did a similar thing with Wayne's World Part 2, where they went to the register for the event for the concert they're trying to put on. The guy has like one like white eye, and it's like, I'm just gonna
Oh, the
cross the
Wayne's
T's
World?
and dot the lowercase J's.
Yeah, lowercase J's.
He's like, it's my eye, isn't it? No, why were you looking at your eye? Is there something wrong with that weird eye?
Yeah. Or was it in Scary Movie when what's his name? I forgot the name of the actor, the comedian. But he had the little hand.
2. That's Scary Movie 2.
Yeah, he's like, would you like some mashed potatoes? He's like,
My
germs.
I'm gonna use my strong arm.
I'm gonna use my strong hand. Grab my strong hand. Oh, you guys see that's apparently getting a reboot from Paramount?
It didn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I thought they were funny back then, but I mean, I'm sure they can pull that off. I mean,
be
those were
funny
the
these
ultimate,
days.
like,
I don't know how you do that in
But-
2024.
well, I don't know how they do it either, but like, back then, like those were the ultimate, like, weekends, kids just go to the theater and watch a stupid, scary movie, comedy. And it was just funny. And they don't have those anymore because you can't,
Nope.
You can't be
can't
funny
take
anymore.
risks. Satire doesn't exist anymore. Now it's either you offend somebody or you don't.
Well, sorry.
I had to beat them to death with their own shoes.
Yeah. Honestly, satire is just reality now.
It
Honest.
is.
That's very true.
And
Oh,
yes,
man.
Brad definitely loves Scary Movie. Thank you for saying that.
Yes, he does.
He does.
Totally. Poor guy.
What happened to the spoof movies? Man, I don't know.
They
stopped.
died. They
They
died.
died. It was
Horrible,
bad
horrible
for a
death.
while because they did it like superhero movie and
Meet the Spartans.
Meet the Spartans. And,
Meet the Spartans was produced by Peter Safran. You guys know that?
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Really?
Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Talk about failing upwards. I mean, what?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
In Austin Powers 1, when that guy gets his head cut off, he's like, looks like he'll never be the head of a company. Looks like he's never going to get a head in life. And at one point, he's like, looks like, okay, that's enough. Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to walk away. Walk away.
But even those jokes, you can't do them anymore. You just can't.
No. Like if
People are
David
too soft.
Cross played a character in a wheelchair today, he would get so much shit for it.
Oh, what was the one we were talking about the other day, Ryan? Was it Naked Gun Part 2 when the guy's in the wheelchair?
He's like,
Or Billy the Blind Kid in
Besame.
fucking Dumb and Dumber. You can't have a character like that.
Pretty bird, pretty
Pretty
bird.
bird. Yes, pretty bird. Polly want a cracker?
he's like, I took care of it.
Got no food, got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off. His head fell off. Yeah, he was really old. Oh my gosh.
What?
Sorry. Something's not playing on my end because I'm still sharing
Oh.
screen.
Oh my gosh. So freaking funny. Well, before we
Hold on. This is
What?
what I was trying to pull up.
Oh, there we go.
This one.
Oh. Can you even play this without getting copyright strike? For fuck's sake.
And then, like,
you gotta do the
no.
guitar twirl.
oh, they leave Nordberg out there, of course. Okay.
Oh, good Lord.
Rest in
Dead.
peace. He's a part where he asks him a question. It's so funny.
There
it's
it is.
right here.
Hold on.
Here.
Hacker, you get the doc prepared for his speech.
Oh, I missed it. Oh,
Doc prepared for his speech.
I'm losing it.
Make a speech.
the uncle from Harry Potter.
Right.
That is the guy from Harry Potter. That's Uncle Vernon. You're right.
Yeah.
Like Guantanamera.
That's what it was.
You're right, Ed. I'm thinking of something a little more up-tempo, like Guantanamera. No, I mean Hacker.
He's like, we better make her move now. He's like, good thinking. I was actually thinking up tempo. Guantanamera.
I can't believe they're remaking this movie with Liam Neeson and fucking Pamela Anderson.
You know what though? I'm actually glad it's someone like Liam Neeson because like he's gonna try and be extremely serious, and it's gonna be just a bunch of stupid puns left and right. So that should be funny. But Naked Gun, I mean, you can't.
Liam Neeson does have one of the funnier moments in a movie in the past couple of years where he was in, was it Ted 2? Where he's like, I'd like to purchase this breakfast cereal. I understand it's exclusively for children. It's like, no, it's just in the commercial. It's like, so if I buy this, it will be followed. It's like, no, you'll be fine. It's like, I will not forget what you've done for me today. I would like you did. I'd like you to forget.
Oh no. I fear for Naked Gun now.
No, you got to watch the actual clip.
I wonder what the devil he wanted. He was an African black guy. He was just like, forget it.
Yeah.
You can't do
Driver.
that anymore. You can't do that.
Oh man.
Oh my god! All right, let's wrap
But
this
we've-
up.
Yeah, we've reached the 2-hour mark. Before we get going, I do want to show real quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we actually got a $2 super chat really fast. Let's show real quick of our good friend
Yeah.
Dwayne.
Hand grenade of Antioch.
We got
Oh,
another
man.
explosion here. The Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. True story. I once stayed up for 2 weeks and watched that movie every single night when I was like 13 and memorized like that entire movie. I freaking loved watching that movie. So funny. Ryan, wait to hear you talk about funny movies. I can get to talk about my experience. So you can shove it. You can shove it. But real quick before we do go, I'm just going to show some recent stuff that I've got, like original pieces. All these are available for those maybe out in the chat looking for some original stuff. I do some of these at Biglet Comic Con Nova recently. I got some Superman, some Cyclops. This was really fun, actually. Get the good.
That one's
Kirby
cool.
characters.
I like that.
Yeah.
You got Invincible, Simple.
That looks really good.
Eh.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Eh.
Got
Yeah,
pencils
there you
from
go.
Captain
That's
Fire.
that
That
was
was dope.
right
That's
there.
dope.
And we got
That was
Kratos
good.
pencils. Love this one. And of course, we got some Avatar Last Airbender stuff. Got some. Why is that in there randomly? That's Spawn too. Yeah, I got Toph.
Lost.
Toph. And they got Spawn here, and then you got Sokka and Katara. Got Zuko, Aang, all the gang. Some Attack on Titan stuff. Some anime and comic. Got this one too that I've been holding on to for a bit.
Magneto is holding Wolverine.
Indeed. And again, all these are available, whether it be through TikTok shop or whether it be just contact me on Instagram or Twitter or whatnot. Just go check those out. And yeah, last Comic-Con was a success. And I bring up the Kratos one because here's a fun little find I had. So a lot of the Comic-Cons I go to, there's like a Lego minifigure stand. And they'll have like custom characters. So here's Kratos as a Lego minifigure, which is pretty sick. And then finally got a Spawn. Freaking sick. Anyway, just wanted to show those off before Ryan plays another I don't care clip. Anything anyone has to say before
Those
we
are actually
get
pretty
going?
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone have anything to add before we kick off here?
Fallout was
That's it,
cool.
man.
Yes, I still need to watch Fallout.
I
highly recommend it.
Put that in the tweet too.
I highly recommend it.
No,
Fallout was
I
great.
want to finish it. I was surprised the whole season was available at once. I was like, oh wow, we're going back to this. I missed this.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Not the weekly releases. Yeah, I need to watch that. I caught up on X-Men 97. That's still dang good. Still just the best thing Marvel's done in a long time.
You know
at
what?
the moment.
Real quick on X-Men 97, because we sort of touched on it, but really didn't because somebody was in the room with us at the time. But the one thing I loved about it, and I'm gonna kind of spoil this for you a little bit. But I loved how they just dive into the lore of the X-Men and they don't give two shits about like, oh, you don't know who that is. Well, too bad. Like, they go right after it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's
the
the way you
Shi'ar
should.
Empire. I was like, yes, yeah, I'm finally seeing these guys that I've read in the comics. They completely avoided them in the MCU because they were a X-Men centric division of the the galaxy or whatever. But they were never in the MCU. Like, I'm sorry, but like in Guardians of the Galaxy and all that, they would have been around, and they weren't.
Well, also you got to see comic accurate Ronan the Accuser, which was pretty cool to see.
That was so cool. I was like, whoa, they went there. That's freaking cool. And to see Gladiator and the whole team. And if I'm not wrong, what is it? Lilandra, her sister, who has like a really generic, she has a generic name. It's like Death Angel or something. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
But she has her own little team of, and one of them is
Vulcan.
Is Vulcan, and who is related to Scott Summers as his other brother, which would make sense because his father Corsair is out in the universe as part of the Starjammer. So I feel like Corsair is going to make his appearance in this film, and him and the Starjammers are like sort of like the Guardians of the Galaxy type crew, where they're kind of swashbuckler space pirates.
Yeah.
So that should be
they're just doing a really great job with the show. I mean, they're just like you said, they're just diving into the lore and not really. They're like, it's up to you to catch up or be up to date, and it's like,
I mean,
cool.
as soon as the episode started, like, and then when it went to the Shi'ar Empire, I was just like, oh, we're just gonna go right into this. I love it. I was like, they're not even trying to like tell you like, okay, this is who we are. No, they just jump right in. They're like, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go.
Right.
And that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
even
really well done.
even the villain, what was his name? I'm blanking right now.
Mr. Sinister.
No, the owl.
The adversary.
The adversary. Thank you. Even like the adversary, it was just kind of like, you don't know who that is? Well, that's too bad because we're gonna touch on him right now. You know, it's just like, oh, cool. I like it.
Yeah.
The owl.
Yeah,
Who?
Who's this guy's name?
I thought the pacing for the episode was a little off because it just jumped back and forth between the two stories, and they're two vastly different stories they were telling, right?
Like they should have just done half and half. You know what I mean? Like just tell the story. But I don't know. I get it though.
I feel like honestly now, I feel like the life death thing could have been one whole episode to itself.
It really could have been.
Right?
But I guess they didn't because they thought, well, if we did that and then you saw episode 5, you would say, well, where was Storm the whole time? But it was kind of like you didn't have to do that. Like you would have assumed.
I feel like you could have done this after episode 5. You could have had life death as its own episode after episode 5. And because the setup from episode 3 or no, episode 2, the end of episode 2 literally sets it up where she meets Forge at the very end of that, right? And you can get a couple episodes without her, and then you get this right after episode 5.
She was on her own anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah. And this is 97, so they don't have cell phones like we do.
Right.
They have like flip phones that give you no information. So anyway, they could have.
I will say, like, Storm getting her powers back, the transformation that she saw, like getting her OG outfit. I was like, okay, this is fucking boss.
Cool. Oh yeah, her black outfit, that was badass.
It was dope shit right there. It was
Brian's like, thanks guys.
You're welcome.
No, I mean it's already released, so it's cool. It's not like y'all
on him. It is on him to watch the episode now.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But with that, go check out Fallout and X-Men 97. Both really great shows, doing really great stuff there. Great adaptations. And also got Rebel Moon Part 2 coming out this next week, which is exciting.
Friday.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's in 2
days.
It's
Friday. Yeah, this Friday.
And you can finally talk about your set visit.
Yes, and I'll hopefully be getting all the footage and videos that I took on the set.
I'm telling you right now, that's in a box in someone's storage facility that they have. They're probably gonna be like, "What happened to all the footage of?"
There's a part of me.
She took care of it.
There's a part of me that's a little scared. Get us the footage, which like it could happen, but like I really hope that's not the case. But fingers crossed that I get it back so I can put it all in a compilation video and make
like legally we cannot give you this.
Right. Or they'll be like, oh, wait till the extended like director's cuts of the movie. It's like, gosh dang it.
You will have to wait till episode 6 is released. Appreciate it.
Probably wouldn't be surprised. But with that, yes, look forward to that. Got a lot of good shows, movies coming out, and exciting time to be a fan of those things.
I watched Civil War, and I'm sorry, but like I thought it was a good movie, but like they marketed that movie the complete wrong way. Like if you watch Civil War, it's all they're showing you are like the action war scenes, and like there's so much more of that movie besides those scenes.
It's a journalism movie, right?
It's a journalism movie, but it's about the journalists, and it's like the scenes in which all the action sequences take place, really cool. But at the same time, like I don't know, there was questions of like, wait, what? Like, why are they doing? I don't know. There was a lot to cover, and they spent a lot of time. They spent the majority of time just on the characters. Well, I think like when you look at the trailer, you feel like you're going to watch a movie where you're going to get immersed in this world where there's a civil war taking place, and they sort of spell out why these things are happening throughout the movie, and then you realize, okay, so this is why it's happening. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you have to get through the whole movie in order to figure it out.
Yeah,
and but it was a good movie though. I liked it.
Yeah. For sure. Well, cool.
When I'll get to it. I have no idea when I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Because I think the next movie that I'm seeing in the theater is Phantom Menace for its 25th anniversary re-release in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah,
I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. As much as I'd like to go to the movie theater this weekend, I just don't think I can.
Yeah, no. we're not doing movie theaters right now. We're in the process of moving, so that's
right.
tight with that. So we just rented or about to rent the moving truck, so that's gonna be fun.
When do you move?
We're moving the first week of August, right after a Comic-Con that I have in Roanoke, Virginia. We're moving pretty much right after that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna try to miss out on a lot of the move-in madness of that college town and get there a little bit later than others would. So
yeah,
to miss out on all that chaos.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, with that, everyone, we appreciate you watching. Appreciate the super chats and all the good conversation, and hope to see you all here next week. Cheerio.